evening, everyone, and welcome to D&D Self-Diceolation. I'm Tom, and I'll be your Dungeon Master for tonight.
Hi, I'm Rich, and I'll be playing Bagerac, the Half-Orc Barbarian.
Hi, I'm Em, and I'm playing Faix, the Changeling Blood Hunter.
Hey, I am Lacey. I am playing Jamesy, Jameson, James the James, and Aarakocra Ranger.
Hi, I'm Oakley, and I'm playing Lours, the Kalashtar Druid.
Hi, I'm Bell, and I'm playing Natasha Bardingfield, the Swiftfoot Halfling Bard.
Hi, I'm Shawbor, and I'm playing Relaxio, the Yanti, Pureblood Warlock.
So good evening, everyone, and welcome back to D&D Self-Diceolation. How is everyone?
Good evening.
How is everyone's 2 weeks off?
It felt great. It's good to be back.
Good.
Evening, Dice Roll fans.
I was waiting for that. So the night has not started until the Dice Roll fans have been
And it's
greeted.
not ended until there's some shit.
Gotta say hi to the Dice Roll fans.
That's what they're here for. They're all secret gamblers, are our D&D lot.
Yep.
We're just
Yes.
waiting for the odds.
Hello
Yeah, they've
to
all
what looks
got
like
bets
both
with them.
viewers in chat at the moment. So really, we're just doing this for you
Right.
guys. So, quick recap. Last time, you met with the Changeling Echo, who had escaped from the Crimson Order. Between Echo's information and the records in the Temple of the Noble Shield at Stoutwood's Rest, you were able to identify a Crimson Order location known as Site 22 and went to investigate it. On arriving at Site 22, the area was saturated with arcane fallout, which had warped the flora and fauna of the region. And as you made your way through the area, you discovered the remains of various experiments, containment facilities, and a Crimson Order retrieval team with orders to recover viable materials from the derelict site. Inside the main building, an encounter ensued with Mirror Scale, a young dragon. Echo was near fatally wounded, but Lours managed to convince the dragon the party meant no harm and ended the fight without too much of a beatdown. With a final investigation of the site, James found a plaque with the sigil of Crimson Order, a single eye weeping red tears, above the words Office of Cataclysm Intelligence. Taking this information back with you to Stoutwood's Rest, Head Cleric Bardingfield offers to look into it further. So we pick up probably 2-3 days later in Stoutwood's Rest, and Bardingfield has summoned you to the Temple of the Noble Shield.
Should I have done a long rest? Because I'm heavily wounded still at the
Yes,
moment.
yeah. All of you will have taken advantage of a long rest between then and now.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Did I do that?
Yeah, I think I was the only one.
What a pleb.
So
Okay.
grab yourself your hit points and your spell
Thank
slots.
God. I had no wild shave left.
Cool. So as you enter into the temple, you head to the same antechamber that Bardin took you to last time, and the desk in there is covered with scrolls and sheets of paper, various books, and as you enter the office, he looks at me and goes, "Ah, glad you're here. I've been looking into that Office of Cataclysm Intelligence for you, and I've come up with a few bits of information you might find interesting. Turns out the OCI, as they're officially known, and the Crimson Order might well be the same organisation. It seems that the Crimson Order was a somewhat unfavourable nickname given to the OCI, who were active during the time of the Unravelling. Unfortunately, the records we've got here are fairly vague, and quite a lot of them cover sort of anecdotal reports at the time. But I have found references to notes and documentation in the archives at the Wizards College in Waterdeep. If you want to have a look into it further, I can provide you a letter of note. Not too sure how much weight my authority is going to carry in the major cities, but it may gain you access to their archives and possibly a bit more information into to what you're looking into.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a wonderful idea.
For info, where is Waterdeep from here? Like, how far away is Waterdeep from here?
So
Lost my bearings a bit.
yeah, given the amount that you have bounded around, you're not 100% sure how far away it's going to be.
Okay. It's a way away then.
It's
It's
yeah, you
fine.
reckon it's a decent distance.
It's at least montage worthy.
You could say that. You could say montage worthy. Yes, yeah.
Faye, I'm happy to follow you if you want to find out more.
I would appreciate that. Yes.
My curiosity is positively itching like a pair of ill-wearing leggings. I'm in.
None of what you said was necessary.
When is anything he says
I
necessary?
just wanted to put that out there.
I feel like this needs to be the theme of your character for this episode now. Say as
What,
little
leggings?
as possible in as many ways as possible.
So
Sure.
as you're chatting amongst yourself, Baradin's already started writing out the letter of note for you. He goes, do you have any further questions I could help you with before you leave?
Can you say there's been a murder?
There's been a murder?
Ah!
Has
That
there
will
been
be
a
all.
murder? Do I need to alert the
Probably.
guards?
No, they tend to follow us around murders, so probably.
Right.
I don't know
so
why.
there's-
I feel like we shouldn't lead with that statement.
No, probably not.
So,
Would you like me to murder him so no one finds out?
Are we the bad guys?
We're always
so Baradin
Do you know who-
finishes writing up the note and looks up and goes, yes, can I help?
Is there someone we should ask for, personally?
Oof.
That this recommendation might have a bit more sway to it.
It's been years since I've travelled to Waterdeep. My work here has occupied most of my time. I wouldn't know who the current staff are at the archives. As I say, they may acknowledge my authority as a head cleric of a main religion, but we are fairly out of the way from the major cities and the major politics that go along with that. So, as I say, I'll do what I can, but I can't promise anything. And he starts
Have you got any like?
putting the wax seal
Sorry.
on. So just putting a wax seal on the letter for you.
Have you got any
And the
potions or
nobility.
anything you can give to us for our travels? Anything that might be of use? Maybe perils we may face?
Nothing I can provide you with directly. I mean, getting to Waterdeep from here, it'll take probably about 5 days by foot. Possibly faster if you have a word at the stables, get yourself some horses.
Cool.
Horses sounds like a good idea.
Mm.
He finishes up the stamp and hands the note over to you, Faye.
Well taken there.
Thank you.
Just so because no one else saw that. If I actually
on
grabbed them.
video. Yeah, so I have no further questions, Your Honour.
Your cleric ship.
Your Honor.
Someone's clearly used to standing in front of a judge.
Just
She's already been
Baradin's
put in prison
fine.
before.
Don't they need a title?
Your Honor.
Your Majesty.
Jury
Yes,
rest.
Your Honor.
What word in particular?
Your clericness.
Stop now.
Fantastic.
How do they treat the the nobility? at
Oh,
Waterdeep.
Probably quite well. I imagine that they treat jumped up little shits a little bit differently.
Well, it's a
Yes, offence.
it's a major city,
All for
so last time I was there, it's certainly obvious that money talks. So I'd imagine the nobility would be fairly well regarded. Natasha, as you're asking this, you remember that a few weeks back the group did spend some time in Waterdeep, during which you spent a week's worth of time carousing with the nobility of the city in the guise
Is
of
that where I
did.
got
the
Gwen to
Duchess
jail?
of Faix. That would be around about the time that you were sprung from jail, yes. The same
What
week, as it were.
Hmm.
Fantastic.
We have friends in Waterdeep then.
Well, people we know.
Yeah, quaint.
But Natasha, didn't you create some sort of character there? Like you got your papers for some person and you made some
Faix.
friends.
Oh yeah.
Do the Duchess of Faix.
Sorry,
Brilliant.
the Duchess of Faux what?
Securd.
Fantastic.
I try.
No, I like that. It's brilliant. How much money do you have,
Perhaps
by
the
the way?
Duchess should make another present. I have enough.
Okay.
It's rude to talk about money.
Just more thinking, do they have enough
Quite.
to pass as a Duchess, or do they need some more?
Bloody hell! When did I get so much gold?
That's
love
kind of what I
gold.
was getting at.
All right, show off.
Have I just not bought
Rich.
anything?
Don't think I have.
I haven't bought.
I think the last time you acquired any new items, you nicked them from a passing farm cart.
Yeah. Not all of us have got a cloak of invisibility that we can hide behind,
No.
or a rock that tells the
It's
weather.
true.
Exactly. Cloak of
True.
concealment.
I mean,
Right.
unless I can hit someone with your reading, generally not
Campaign
too
MVP
interested.
Onwards, brethren,
Onwards
How
to
are you
Waterdeep.
guys? How are you guys heading out?
to the stables. Stables.
Yep, to stables.
Horses.
Yes,
Okay.
I'd like to get a camel.
I've just found I've got plenty of money to pay for them, so
Okay, so
Well,
you
Not that
glad.
horses are on
Thanks to
me.
buy me a horse.
no, horses are not on me.
So the stables are located just towards the main gate, obviously just for ease of getting horse and carriage in and out. The owner there agrees to rent you 5 horses. They have a contact in Waterdeep that they know will be able to make sure that, provided that the horses arrive safely, get them back to Stoutwood's Rest with minor
What's the deposit?
minor wear and tear. The owner kind of they're aware of your importance to the town, how you've been able to restore, bring in the materials to restore the statue and defend it from the Modron March that crashed down about a week or so ago, and they're willing to rent you the so 6 of you. They offer a price of 60 gold for horses, saddle and harness, and
So nice.
sufficient feed to see them through for a journey to Waterdeep. On horseback,
That's-
it's probably going to take you the best part of 3 days.
Is that 60 each, or
60 total for 6 horses.
Oh, okay.
and what do we get back? What do we get back for bringing them to the other place alive?
Oh no.
It's no,
or
there's
just
no,
in general, like,
there's
not
no,
dead.
there's
I'm
no,
not going to give them back
no,
dead.
they're not looking for a deposit. It's literally just it's 60 gold.
I don't need a horse, Tom.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's up to you.
I can fly and keep up.
If you only
I
need
need
the
a horse for
5,
each
I was
foot.
going to say if you only need the 5 horses, they'll drop it down to 50. Essentially, it's 10 gold per horse that you want to rent.
I hand over
Alright.
10 gold.
I am not walking
want a
the way
horse.
because that'll take me twice as long as you guys.
I
don't
can
need
try
a-
and carry if you want, and I promise
No!
to only. I promise to only maybe drop you in some ponds on the way across.
Okay, so for
Don't need,
everyone
like, a
who
cart or
is
anything, do we?
for everyone who's
Yeah,
renting a
I'm removing
horse,
it.
if you can just knock off 10 gold from your inventory.
Yep.
And
It's
Okay.
already spent.
get on the road.
4 seconds.
On the road again.
Get in the bin.
Gold.
Let's get on the road again.
So, any just first
I want
day?
to know how big this horse of mine's gonna have to be.
Yours is a slightly more muscular
Yeah.
framed animal. They managed to find out
Robust.
something appropriate for each of you. In
So,
terms
so
of
you've given
the size,
Bagerac an ox.
the size of the rider and the temperament of the animal.
Natasha's got a Shetland.
I'd like to
Just
imagine.
a long-legged Shetland pony. It's a very small body, but on absurdly long legs.
Climb
I've
up via
got this
its
image
tail.
You've got this image of Natasha on a Shetland and Badger just on, like, I don't know, a cow or something.
One of those massive horses that would that they always pull carts with, like gypsy carts.
It's got like a Shire horse.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so as you head out onto the road, it's early morning. Anything particular you want to discuss on your first day of travel? Or are you happy to just, as you say, montage through?
Only if it's to what do we want from Mulan?
That's fine. Using a legally distinct and non-copyright infringing Disney song on your travel. The first day passes without events. All of the roads are decent. That tickled you, didn't it? So the first day passes First day passes nice and uneventful.
Sorry, I just
The
saw
roads
picture
you're
of Badgerac
taking
on
are
horseback.
the roads you're travelling
As
are
well, as well, Tom.
well prepared and cleared, so it's easy to find your way. First night comes, you set up camp, go through, no one tries to mug you. And as you make your way out on the second day, it's about mid-morning, you've had your breakfast, you've packed up camp, you've headed out. And along the road, you are stopped by
Oh dear.
a voice from the nearby tree line.
We know who you are.
And all you hear is, "Halt!
Where's Adamant?
You stand in the presence of greatness." And from the tree line ride out 3 figures on very well-kept horses. Like, you look at the ones you're riding and like these, you've clearly got like utility and work horses. These are some finely bred steeds that are on. The harness is all very expensive looking leather with little detailing.
You're up, Natasha.
On the back of the horses are 3 figures in robes. The robes appear identical in design, but differing greatly in colour. The first one is dressed entirely in black robes with red ornamentation around the collar and the cuffs and the hem, and they're carrying a bronze staff with a dragon carved into it, and their hair is dyed red and spiked upwards, looking very, very fiery. And the second one is, again, same sort of robes, but this time pale blue with white accents, and they have their hood of the robes up, and they're carrying a delicate silver wand tipped with an ice blue crystal. And the third one has got their hood down. Got very short golden hair, pale sandy robes with golden accents, and they are clutching at one side this huge leather tome with like brass clasps on it and arcane sigils all over the cover. And they stop you and say, "State your business on this road."
Am I presumably above them, Tom?
You would be, I'd say, for the sake of like chatting to the group, you've flown maybe sort of 10-20 feet off the floor. It's a low hovering kind of thing you've got going on.
Okey-doke.
I am the Duchess of Faix, and here is my entourage.
A duchess.
A
Very
Duchess,
well.
I say.
We're gonna get mugged.
Protocol requires that we introduce ourselves. And at this point, the one with the black robes and the red hair brings their horse forward and says, I am Fiero the Brilliant. The second one with the pale blue and white robe takes a few steps forward and says, I am Cryonis the Dazzling. And the third one in the golden robes steps forward and says, and I am Lumen the Radiant. And we are wizards, tasked with capturing and harnessing the arcane and power of magic.
Charmed, I'm sure.
You have not answered our question, however. What is your business on this road?
We travel to Waterdeep.
Waterdeep, our home, the place where we study magic. Yes, Brother Fiero, indeed, it is the place where we study magic at the Wizards' College. Yes, Cryonis, yes, magic. We study magic at the Wizards' College, for we are wizards, powerful and noble in the art of the arcane.
Do us a
kill him yet.
He's in a minute. I just see Faye just knife one.
If you're wizards,
not
you'll
even
do us a spell.
I
We
whisper
do
to
not
Badger, I
waste
don't like
our
people.
talents so lightly, for we are wizards and we harness the power of magic.
Yeah, just turn. Barada's gonna kill him yet.
No, bodyguard, 1
Feel the
and
rage
2.
build.
As they're standing there just posturing on their horses, you hear a fourth voice from the tree line, and out rides another figure on not quite as an impressive horse, clearly one that's still better quality than what you've got, but not quite as expensive looking as the other horses.
I say we take
You
that
just
horse.
hear this voice just shout out, "What the hell are you three up to?" And on the back is a female tiefling, long silver hair bound into a tight plait. They've got dark horns curving back over their head, and they're wearing a far more formal looking robe, and they seem far more officious. And as soon as the voice hits, you can see the three wizards kind of just like recoil a little bit, like they've just been told off. And the tiefling rides to the front of them, gets down off the horse and goes, "I am terribly sorry. Have my students inconvenienced you at all?"
She's gonna beat the fucking interns.
No, not at all. They were quite amusing.
Oh,
I
what
do
thing?
apologise. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Aradel. I am Senior Archivist for the Waterdeep Wizards College, and these three are my students out on their final exams. We've been investigating the recent Modron incursion into this realm. We have been
About to get
following
a head smashed in.
the tracks of the march to see how they managed to enter our plane. And it's at this point you notice where they've come from the tree line and directly across onto the other side of the road is that same path of destruction you'd seen the Modrons carve through forests before, albeit a much narrower and easier to miss path than the ones that you'd encountered following the larger ranks that had torn through forests and mountains.
I see. And how is this investigation going?
Well, it is in part, as I say, an investigation for safety of our realm, and also means of carrying out the final exams for these three gentlemen here. I trust they have introduced themselves.
Yes.
Very well.
Quite,
Mr.
quite
Grosvenor,
imaginatively.
Mr. Grosvenor, Mr. Lambourne, and Mr. Ellingworth, if you could please step down off your horses whilst we are in front of company. Remember your manners. And they immediately start sort of shuffling around. Sorry, miss. And get down off the horses, looking really browbeaten. As she mentions these names, Natasha, you immediately remember that during your time in Waterdeep, the three names that you heard, Grosvenor, Lambourne, and Ellingworth, were some of the major noble families that you'd rubbed shoulders with during your time as the Duchess.
Lovely. Ah, I know your parents, young gentleman.
And immediately they all like sort of puff up a little bit and go, oh, do you?
Yes, quite lovely they were in my brief time I spent in Waterdeep previously.
Oh, thank you. Much obliged. And they all bow quite deeply. At this point, Aradel steps forward and says, I noticed by your equipment that you appear to be, forgive me for being forward, capable adventurers, mercenaries?
Could say that. It could be conveyed that way, yes.
Can I just have a word with you? Briefly, pointing to Natasha.
Yes, of course.
Takes you to one side, and sort of ushers the rest of you around and goes, I'm going to be straight with you. These three are, by far, some of the worst wizards we have ever put through the college.
Oh, goodness.
However, all of their parents make significant contributions to the college, which means that I am being paid a specific bonus for making sure they at least survive through their final exam. Now, so far, they have been nothing but a nightmare, and to be perfectly honest, the money doesn't faze me that much. I'm really not in it for the cash, just for the knowledge. Now, I'd be willing to perhaps forget where I left my bonus payment, perhaps on a tavern table next to you when we arrive back in Waterdeep. If you'd be willing to accompany me and just get these guys through their final exam.
I
Can we hear
see.
this, by the way? Or
Yeah,
is it just
so Aradel has kind of ushered all of you off to one side of the road. So you're out of earshot of the
Sorry,
three
yeah.
students, but just so she can make you this offer.
I make a subtle notion behind my back to the group that I didn't organise with them beforehand, that we're in the money.
Would that be like a rubbing of fingers?
Something like that, yeah.
I was going to turn
can
to
you
Lacey.
make
I
me
think she's got oily fingers.
Natasha, can you make me a stealth sleight of hand check, please?
Well, of course I can.
What? What's that? I'm waiting for this.
7.
7. Look. Yeah. Aradel does not notice.
Yes. Well, I'm sure we can aid these young gentlemen.
I'm going to level with you. The bonus payment is 1,500 gold.
That is absolutely fine. I'm sure we can accommodate your bonus packet somewhat.
Fantastic. Right. We're going to get back on the horses. Make no mention of this to them. And we should have this wrapped up. And they pull out a pocket watch and just check it and go. Probably before nightfall. Sound good?
Oh yes.
Excellent. Close the pocket watch. Put it away. Turn to the students. Gentlemen, these are the bodyguards that I arranged to ensure that you are not waylaid or damaged in undertaking your final exams. We have prepared certain tasks for you to test that you've remembered what we've taught you. But the last thing we'd want is for a random pack of wolves to tear you apart whilst we're getting to that. Now, if you'd all like to return to your mounts and follow me, we shall press on. Aradel hops back up on a horse. The three wizards follow suit. And Aradel looks over towards Bagerac and says, clearly you must be the point man for this particular exercise, seeing as you are clearly the tallest and widest of the group.
Yes, I'm the brains.
Excellent. Well, if you could lead the way then, please, and points down through the clearing through the forest that the Modrons have carved out.
Okay.
If we just follow my dear bodyguard, Bagerac here.
They all seem, the three young wizards all seem quite buoyed by this. I'm like, fancy. This is more like what we were expecting. Start to press on with you. So you're travelling through the forest for maybe an hour or so, and you come to a clearing. As the trees open up, you can see the remains of a farmhouse and barn that have just been completely bisected by the track that the Modrons have taken through. Literally half of the building has been pummeled into rubble. The other half is just about standing with bits collapsing in and over there. And Aradel indicates to Bagerac to just hang fire and allow the wizards to come forward. Well then, gentlemen, your first test is upon you. Off you go. And they step forward and all immediately start talking directly over one another. You hear Fiera going, "We should run in there and throw arcane fire using my fire magic." And Cryonis is like, no, we should freeze the ground and chill the air with my ice magic. And Lumen goes, no, I will use my light magic to illuminate this situation, for I control this particular kind of magic. And as they are chatting over each other, they're wandering closer and closer to the farmhouse. As they're doing so, Lours, you notice some movement from within the remains of the building.
Okay. Can I see what it is, or do I just notice like a...
If you make me an investigation check, please.
Oh god, I suck at that. Oh, 5.
I see.
You can't see exactly what it is, but it's, maybe 5, 6 foot tall. Whatever's in there.
I sort of pointed out to whoever's stood next to me at the moment. I'm not actually sure.
So you're all kind of bunched together in a group. The Bagerac and Aradel are the furthest forwards, and the three wizards are sort of off their horses, and now they're sort of they're talking very loudly over one another and moving towards the farmhouse ruins.
Okay, so I sort of just gesture over to it. Did anyone else see it? The creature, and just sort of...
Nope. I think this is going to get interesting.
Yes.
Pull up the popcorn, Bagerac.
Hopefully
like
the
this
three
is
bruises die.
Maybe this is part of the test. I should probably not get involved.
So we just let whatever's going to happen.
We kind of.
I'd like to. Do I see anything? As a ranger, sort of trained in.
Investigation check, I'd say with advantage because bird eyes.
Okay. Bird eyes.
Bird eyes.
Yeah, bird eyes.
It's racist.
Bird eye.
What do I do how do I do with advantage? Is it just?
You just
put ADP at the end.
Or just do it twice and pick the highest.
20.
20, okay. You, looking closely, you can make out that there are two shapes moving around inside the ruins, and they appear to be vaguely humanoid.
Okay. I will fly forwards, drop down next to them, and point out that there are things there in front of them that talking loudly to each other about how they're going to freeze, shoot fireballs, and light up. I'm not sure what the light will do, but shoot light at them. It's probably not the smartest move tactically.
I think it's a great move.
Hmm.
Of course
I'm
you
here
do.
for
If
it.
they start.
Your warnings pretty much go unheeded as they continue to just talk at one another about how good they are at magic. And Cryonis,
I want to trip.
Cryonis turns around and looks at you and goes, "Don't worry about this, my birdman friend. We are wizards skilled in the arcane ways of magic, and we have nothing to worry about from..." And immediately stops talking as you hear... Zoop, 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 zoop.
Oh no.
Cryonis falls forward, and sticking out of his
Oh,
back
right.
are
Happy
5
now.
crossbow bolts.
Nice.
I just high five Bagerac.
Nice.
Yes.
And I'm going to need you all to roll initiative, please.
Nice.
Hooray!
We're in it
I
nice
thought
and
we were-
early
I thought
tonight.
we were on the side of the whatever is shooting them. I thought we brought them to their death on purpose.
Oh my god.
God.
6.
I misunderstood.
So,
I think we need to
we'll
wait for him to ask us.
run through the order then. Bagerac,
11.
Faye,
24.
James,
Nice. 16.
Lours,
18.
Sorry, 11. Sorry, I couldn't find my one.
Natasha.
6.
Fantastic. And finally, Relaxio.
12.
Brilliant. So, let's have a look who we got up first. It's, yeah, pretty much going to be Faye with that crazy roll. So, Faye, you're up. James, you're on deck. What do you want to do?
Can you just clarify for me, because I think I misunderstood what I heard, because brain. And
That's fine.
what did the person, the elder wizard person say that ask us to do for these 3 people? Like, I thought we were trying to get them killed.
No,
No,
your mission was
No,
the exact opposite of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that just sucks. Okay, I was well excited. Okay, right then.
Strange as it seems, Tom, and I'm not trying to jump in front of Faye. Are we?
Fine, I
I'm
can
assuming the
just
guy's
fine.
actually dead. I don't know whether there's some sort of weird D&D. He's got 5 crossbow bolts in him, but somehow still alive.
You've seen
Well,
a very
swear I
young
thought
wizard
that
take
many.
5 crossbow bolts to the spine and drop in front of you.
Right,
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
So
Must be
definitely dead. That's all I needed to know.
So, Faye, what are we doing?
I will invoke my Crimson Right.
Yep.
So we best still get paid, otherwise I'm going to murder them all.
And
You can't
I
get paid if they're dead.
cool. Only one
Well, I
damage.
can.
That's
think I
good.
have
Take the money.
reincarnation yet. When do
I would like to use my go just to do like an investigation check or something like that to see if I can see like a pinpoint exactly where those bolts came from.
Okay, cool. Roll me an investigation check, please. I'd say with advantage.
Because you are so alert now, on the cafe.
Nat 20.
Nat 20, okay.
Nice.
With your
Yeah.
crazy
Big
powerful alertness, you can see in the shadows of the farmhouse are 2 cloaked figures levelling crossbows out over a ruined section of wall.
So they're in the like garden of it.
They're
not actually
just
in the
inside
farmhouse.
the building itself.
Right, okay. I'll relay that to the rest of the group so they know where they're shooting at.
That's fine. Okay, anything else on your turn?
Mm-mm.
Cool.
No, that's good, thank you.
So, up next is one of the figures from inside the building who looses another crossbow bolt at James. James, what is your armor class, please?
Scares the
He's
shit
at
out of me every time.
17 at the moment.
17. The crossbow bolt just goes whistling past you. You suspect it might have been a 6th shot intended for Cryonis, but has completely gone wide on that. So it is now your turn, James. On deck we have got, let me just check the order, Relaxio.
Me.
Okay. Can I see them? Is it? There's no faces, I presume. It's just like arrows whistling out of the farmhouse windows.
You can
or
see, now
something.
that they've taken a shot at you, it's obvious where they are. You can pinpoint. You know, based on your previous investigation roll and the fact that they've just missed you with a crossbow bolt, you can clearly see these 2 figures. aiming
Managed to
crossbows. They're
fire
literally just resting
5.
crossbows on the crumbling bits of masonry.
Okay. Is there one that's closer to me than the others, or are they next to each other, or
They're
whatever?
next to each other, equidistant.
Okay, I will just attack the one on the left.
Okay, that's fine. How are you attacking the one on the left?
I jump forward my rapiers. Hang on, are they close enough for me to get to and
Yes,
attack,
yeah.
or do I need? Right.
Yeah, they're within probably about 25-30 feet of you.
Go for one with my rapier. 25
Excellent.
to hit.
That hits.
That is 9 piercing damage, and I'll use my bonus action to rapier. 21 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Just hang on. Colossal Slayer, so
Yep.
that hits for 16.
Jesus. Yeah, so as you dive in, you stab your rapier down into this cloaked human figure with the crossbow. And as you follow up with the second attack, you take their head off. They're dead.
The rapier? That's impressive.
Yeah. They are
Sharp
Shit.
rapier sides.
straight up.
Yeah. Take his head
Straight
off.
up dead.
Cool.
shit.
That never happens.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, normally we have to hit them at least 100 times before they die.
Okay, so Relaxio. You're up.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to frostbite him. The
Okay.
last one.
Yep, that's fine.
It's like euphemism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stunned as they are with this sudden surge of violence
What?
from what is essentially a large eagle, the other one has kind of stood up and completely given away their position. So yeah, you've got a nice clear shot at them.
Oh, what? Yeah. Okay. So they need to do a Constitution save, I believe, of 13.
Which they biff.
That's good because I did 1 damage. Take that, mother flicker.
Excellent. Okay, so frostbite goes off, and James, you see this sudden spread of cold across their shoulder as they flinch back and try to sort of like do their best to knock the ice crystals off the shoulder. Relaxio, anything else on your turn?
No.
There's a deep and thoughtful no. Moving on then, we've got Bagerac. Lours, you're on deck. Bagerac, what are you up to?
It's a hard choice of what to throw at them, really.
He is a connoisseur of hurling.
Yeah,
The
I
yeoman
will
of
just-
yeeting.
I will throw a javelin for a different
Excellent.
change. Why not? An actual weapon
An
this time.
actual javelin. Go for it.
Yes. It's a 10 to hit.
10. Unfortunately, the javelin goes wide.
God, I haven't thrown one of those for a while. That's the problem.
Yeah, a little bit rusty on that one.
Should have
Shaking
thrown a
off the
warlock.
rust, mate. Shaking off the rust.
So you're just getting rid of those bad javelins.
Yeah.
The inaccurate ones.
I should have thrown a
Um,
warlock at him. That always gets them.
That is a proven combat tactic.
Yeah.
Anything else on your turn?
No.
Okay, so Lours, you're up.
Okay.
What are we doing? Natasha, you're on deck.
So just to clarify, they all still group together-ish.
So
Or
at the moment, like I say, about 25 feet in front of you, you've got a ruined bit of wall. Behind it is a humanoid figure with a crossbow that is desperately trying to remove some ice crystals from their shoulder, an enraged eagle that has just decapitated his companion, and a dead wizard currently being stared at in stunned silence by his two friends.
I am gonna throw ice knife at the figure.
Tasty. So it's a ranged spell
Yes.
attack? Yep, cool. Roll to hit, please.
25.
That definitely hits, yes. Yep.
So he takes 1d10. Where the hell is my d10? That one. Which is anything on? It's 1d, so it takes 3, and then it explodes for 2d6 cold as
Okay,
well.
so, so initially they take 3 damage.
Yeah, so it takes
So
8
as the ice
total.
knife just sinks in and just cuts through flesh, and then it explodes?
Yes. They have
Okay.
to make a dex saving throw, or they'll take an extra 5.
Nope, they fail.
So,
That
yeah,
is
they
that
take
is a
the
nat
extra
1.
5.
So they take an additional
Nice.
5 damage.
5 cold damage, yeah.
Okay.
Crikey.
Yeah. As
Nasty spell.
the knife explodes, it basically rips out a chunk of their shoulder that had already frozen over from Relaxio's frostbite, and they are in a bad way right now.
If there's any other creatures within 5 feet, they also need to make the dex saving throw. Friendly or
So,
otherwise.
James, if you could make a dex saving throw, please.
Okay.
What's
Probably
the
should
DC?
have read that bit. It's 15. DC 15. Actually, no, it actually doesn't specify on it. I don't know if it's. Oh,
Oh,
no,
it's just-
sorry, it does. Yes, it does. Sorry, yes, it does. Dex of 15.
Is that is that S?
Yeah, if using Avray exclamation save space dex.
23.
Yep, so you're
Nice.
fine then. You see the knife coming in, and just like you just casually take a step back. Just as the ice shards shatter and just manage to hit the ground in front of you. Okay,
Sorry.
so next up we've got this guy who is having the worst time, and they are just going to try and leg it.
No.
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
You do get an attack of opportunity, Murder Bird. Please make your single attack of opportunity.
14 to hit.
That hits.
Right. Hang on. Oh god, I've forgotten again. What is it? Yeah, it is D8. 19.
So as they try to run, you just whip out with the rapier and slash through both of their Achilles tendons, forcing them to fall forward and impale their face on some old farm equipment. And with a faint and horrific gurgling noise, they expire. We are now out of combat.
Oh.
Can I walk
Can
over
I
to
go
the
and
corpse
see? Can I go and
and
see whether
look
I
at
can
who it is?
So both of you, James and Bagerac, tell me what you're going to do, and then we'll resolve it afterwards. So
I was going to say, can I go
James, go
and check
first.
on the guy who got? I was going to see whether I could check on the guy who'd been shot and see whether there's anything we can do, as I've got cure wounds, or whether he's just straight up.
Okay,
That's all she wrote.
and Bagerac, what do you want to do?
I was going to go and look at one of the hooded figures we shot, like take the hood down, have a look, see what it is.
Okay, that's fine. So first of all, James, can you roll me a... You know what? Don't even bother. He's dead. He is dead and gone.
He's dead, Jim.
Righto.
Dead and gone. Whilst both the other wizards, both Fiero and Lumen, are absolutely shocked and stunned at just how quickly this guy went down, the instructor wanders over, and Aradel basically rolls the body over, and you hear this crunching noise as the shafts of the crossbow bolts were pushed a little bit further into the corpse. And they reach into the neck of the robe and pull out a silver amulet with a little verdant green crystal set into it.
Ooh.
And as they pull the amulet off, the entire body is just sucked into the amulet. He goes, well, that will be a failing grade.
Oh, I see. So it'll
I'm
just be
sure that
resurrected
Charles
later.
Lambourne's family will be most disappointed with his performance, and just puts the amulet away inside their robes. Bagerac, you go through the bodies of the two figures. Both of them were human bandits with crossbows, some bolts, some like cheap but functional leather armor, and some heavy linen cloaks. Nothing special. To be honest, they had maybe 5 copper in their pockets between them.
No, I literally just wanted to see who they were, so they were just
Bagerac
random
steals it.
bandits.
It's random,
right, okay.
random bandits following along.
Really,
Yeah.
like they weren't planted by the order or whatever. They were like
Insight check.
You're asking me or you're asking Aradel?
both.
Okay. Aradel says, well, we were aware that there would be certain hazards along the route. Fortunately, we have a wonderful scrying department who have already pre-checked the route that we're taking. I am aware of the hazards that we will be facing, so if anything appears that is untoward, I will step in and intervene. But otherwise, the trials ahead are for the students, and their performance is graded by myself.
It doesn't seem like much of a trial though, if you don't actually know what they're going to end up facing, and it also feels a little bit harsh on the bandits almost. Yeah, they're trying to attack them, but they don't know that this is all a big game.
Oh, those two.
Yeah,
Oh, don't worry about them.
they also got amulets, so they also like not dead.
No, they were just criminals.
Wait,
Did
what?
you put them up? Did you put them up
Oh.
to this?
No, we
So
knew
you don't know
we
who-
knew
how
they
do
were
you-
there. They had no idea.
So that's what I mean. That's kind of a bit.
The whole
dodgy, don't you
point of
think?
this part of the exercise was to demonstrate to the students that if they are planning to invade and attack an enemy fortification, that they should communicate with one another correctly, make a plan of action, and then go forward. They did not. They
Yeah.
were loud. They were untactful, and as
Oh
a
yeah,
result,
don't get me wrong. I agree that they were terrible,
Mr.
but
Lambourne paid the price.
those bandits. Has he though, or is he alive somewhere else?
Well, he will be receiving a failing grade, and I imagine a none too kind word from his parents.
So he's alive then.
Oh yes. She pulls out the amulet and goes, "These are safety devices. You don't
So
think we'd actually kill our students?"
well, that's what I'm saying is that these poor criminals, they were clearly trying to kill them for a reason, like maybe to feed their family or something. And poor Betty's going to go without any bread now because they weren't able to get anything from them because they didn't actually ever manage to kill them.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
they were always going to live.
You misunderstand. These men were marked for death anyway.
Right. So you did plant them there.
Yes. No. Well, we didn't plant them per se, but as I say, we have a wonderful scrying department at the college, and they may have guided the fates of these individuals. I mean, they were certainly noticeable on our radar. They burned down an orphanage with the children still inside, and then they proceeded to just raid the building afterwards. But
Insight check.
nothing other than toys. Yep, go for it.
Or do I believe her? I should probably.
Yeah,
say.
it's this. I was going to say. I was going to turn to everyone and just say, does anyone else think that it sounds really weird?
Oh, where's my insight?
I'm not gonna lie. Some
23.
bandits got killed. I'm not interested.
23. Lours, you don't see a trace of irony or lies on this woman.
Okay.
She is genuinely telling you that they have coerced two known criminals who burned down an orphanage and tried to steal from the remains into being essentially ambushed by trainees.
I am
Let
now
me-
okay with this.
Let me ask her this question though. Is say, for example, they hadn't come across us and they'd had to do this trial on their own. What would have happened to these criminals? Say they'd managed to kill in a rabbit ears, kill these three. Would you then have killed the criminals anyway, or would they like get pardoned, or what's the
No,
crack?
they were already tried and found guilty. Their sentence was death.
Did they know that?
Yes.
So why would they even bother?
Well,
Just run.
you'd think so, but clearly they saw some riches here that no one else had disturbed. And besides, even if the students had failed in their task, it's why I'm here. Anyway, shall we move on? And clearly shaken, both the two younger wizards hop up on off on the horses, and you continue on. About another hour goes by. You've followed the track through into, again, another heavily wooded area. And the ground sort of starts to slope down in front of you. And after about another 15 minutes or so, you find that you're in a fairly deep sort of valley, sheer stone cliffs either side. And after, let's say, about 15-20 minutes of travelling through this section, you find that the path is completely blocked by this huge thicket of brambles.
Oh, I have something for this.
And a single solitary, like, pine tree growing in the centre.
Sorry, a single pine tree was that?
Yes, a single pine tree.
Okay. I take it that it's obviously out of place. This doesn't look normal.
Make me a
to
nature
me.
check and don't biff it.
Oh. Don't give me pressure. He says as he biffs it with a 5.
That's fine, as long as it wasn't a 1. Yeah, you are fairly keenly aware that this is an unusual place for a single pine tree to be growing.
I just sort of stand and stare at it, confusedly.
Okay.
They all got like detect magic or anything.
I do actually. Nope. Can I detect magic?
Are you casting that as a ritual or as a spell slot?
I'll go ritual. I think if I'll take the 10 minutes. Is it
That's
10
fine.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes.
So at this point, Aradel is just she's brought her horse to a stop, and she's just kind of sitting back, arms crossed, just watching the two wizards in front, who are now actually talking to one another. Fiera's going, well, this is an unusual place for a tree like this to grow, and these brambles are certainly not what we'd expect. And Lumen goes, yes, I remember from my research, when I was researching magic, that these sort of bushes would not grow in such a deep ravine or crevasse. Yes, Brother Lumen, I do believe that my training and research in the ways of magic have also indicated something similar. And whilst they're still insufferable, they are at least giving each other time for like a call and response while they work out what's going on. Whilst these two are chattering interminably between each other, are the rest of you up to anything? Other than Lours, who is casting Detect Magic.
I want to kill them. But I won't.
Oh no.
But I won't.
No.
Unless Bagerac talks me into it.
Think about the gold!
I was gonna say, I'm just being
Haven't we
distracted.
already failed though? One of them like died.
Oh god, don't let her justify this.
They failed.
Yeah, but we were meant to keep them alive.
And we only
Yeah.
had 2/3 of the
They're
gold.
alive! We confirm they're alive! We're okay!
He's had worse. It is just a flesh wound.
What's that from?
As long as they
It's
don't
but a
annoy me,
scratch. Monty Python.
I'm gonna go with as long as they don't annoy me, I'm not gonna kill them just yet.
Okay. So, Lours, as you finish up casting the Detect Magic ritual, you get a very strong bing from the pine tree itself. Other sort of like residual bits from the various magic items and the now three wizards that are with you. A lesser detection from Fiero and Lumen, but certainly a very strong read from Aradel. But yes, of the area that you're scanning, the most noticeable point is that the pine tree itself is radiating magic.
That's quite
So
cool.
I relay all that to the group. What kind of magic? I don't actually remember the schools, but I think I'm allowed that. Am I allowed that?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a specific school of magic. It is just sort of an arcane source more than anything else. It doesn't appear to be that the pine tree, from what you read, you know it's not enchanted, you know it's not something that has been turned into a pine tree, you know that the tree itself is not cursed. It's none of the normal schools of magic. So nothing has been done to the pine tree. The pine tree hasn't been created from something else. It is just inherently magical.
Does it give me any sense of if it's dangerous, or is it just magic?
Just magic. No intent or anything positive or negative.
Guys, it's probably obvious already, but the tree is super magic.
Set it on fire.
I'm not sure that's such a good idea.
Burn it!
I'll touch it.
Face isn't a good idea. Burn it!
I'll touch it.
Before you have a chance to do that, Fiero has overheard the various conversations going, "Oh, burn it, is it? Well, using my control of the magic of fire, I shall incinerate this blockage and clear our path. Burning hand spell."
Can I jump on him and tackle him to the ground before he's stupid enough to do that? Because I was only joking.
If you can make me a... Let's call this a athletics check with disadvantage because you were caught off guard by him being just that stupid.
Oh, look, it's the tree and the weapons.
Shit. 13.
Unfortunately, you don't quite get to him in time before he immediately casts Burning Hands at the bramble thicket.
Can I grab him and pull him out the way back as fast as I can?
Bear with that for a second.
As the flames, scratching my head with the morning star going, even I'm not that stupid.
They wave their hands back and forth, like just spraying this cone of fire at the brambles, and you kind of have to take a step back a little bit just to avoid getting hit by a careless swing too far to the one side or the other. And as the flames die down, the brambles are completely unaffected, but the pine tree starts to shift and move and grow taller and grow limbs. And you are suddenly presented with a 50-foot tall, pine needle covered tree man, for lack of a better word, who immediately looks down at Fiero. And I will once again need you to roll initiative.
God damn it!
Wow.
God damn it!
The shitty wizards. Right, I'm gonna use the D&D Beyond because I'm scared of Evray still.
Fine,
Wait,
mate,
no,
go.
do you know what? I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it one more time. No, I'm gonna do it one more
That's
time.
even worse.
I got the same again.
I spelled it completely wrong.
I'm having a great time on D&D Beyond today.
23. All right. Okay, we're back in business.
So 23 from Natasha goes through the top of the list. Bagerac?
16.
16. Faye?
24.
For James?
18.
18.
What are we fighting?
Lours?
The tree.
9.
And Relaxio?
11.
11. Fantastic.
Yeah, boy.
We're fighting the tree.
Oh, hang on. Hello again.
I got real intense.
Yeah, music got intense, but I also forgot to start tracking all of that. Okay, so top of the round, the tree man immediately just brings this enormous bow down onto Fiero's head.
I'm unable to drag him out of the way in time.
Unfortunately, not. No. Fiero.
Fuck the money.
Is immediately crushed into the ground
Oh, Jesus.
as his entire body crumples underneath the weight of this bow coming down onto this poor wizard's head. Next up, we have got Faye.
Wow, I guess I'm just gonna go for a double sickle combo.
Crossbow
Okay.
longbow combo.
Yeah, it's not as great as crossbow longbow combo, is it?
It's not,
Doesn't
no.
have quite the same ring to it.
You need to up your game with this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Get a bullet
2
on
seconds. Where are we?
Hi, cat.
Okay, yep. So, yep, if you can roll to hit, please.
19.
19 hits. Roll me some damage, please.
I shall. So 8, and there that's 8 slashing damage, and also 4 lightning damage, so 12 in total.
Cool.
You know, lightning doesn't like trees, so that definitely does more, right?
That seems fair.
What?
Yeah, I think it seems
So,
fair.
sorry, so
Sounds a
8
reasonable
slashing, 4 lightning.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's lightning. Let me double check. God, where has it gone?
Chat says double sickle tickle.
That's got to have been half.
That's fine. That's canon now.
Yeah, it is lightning damage.
Cool.
Yeah.
So as the first sickle bites into the thick bark at this thing's legs, the lightning then charges out and into the tree. And they take a step back and go, "Ow! What'd you do that for?"
Because you
I'm sorry. What?
Faye, anything else on your go?
Yeah, I'm still going in with my second.
Cool. Go for it.
Not the third.
Okay.
21.
Oh, God,
21 hits. Yep.
We're gonna kill a child in a tree costume.
6 damage.
The second one
Faye's got a
carves
Bagerac.
another deep gash into the bark at the one leg.
No lightning that time.
You said gash.
I did. I almost regretted it the minute I said it. Okay. So,
yes, we're gaming with you.
Faye, anything else from yourself?
No, that's me done. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Natasha, you're up. James, you're on deck.
Okay. What to fucking do with this tree man that's talking?
Call it a funny name.
Could do that. Yeah, I cast Vicious Mockery on it.
Okay.
Mock that tree.
Yeah. So, how are you viciously mocking the pine tree man?
Mockering.
If you think you're gonna keep standing in our way, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Oh no!
Oh Lord.
No.
Okay. So what's that? Is that wisdom save?
Wisdom 15.
That's cool. You fucking psychic damage on all of us.
They save,
Oh, you fucker.
but they look down at you and go, "I'm the only tree down here, mate. What are you doing?"
Why is it from New Zealand?
My name is Korg, and I like rock.
I was going to say, it reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be a
Natasha.
fucking tree
Cheers,
Korg,
Dave.
isn't it?
Natasha,
Cheers,
anything
Dave.
else from yourself?
I suppose I can't
Yeah,
look.
he's made of rocks.
Fiero's well dead, any. Like-
Fiero is. I mean,
Well, he's an
you're
amulet.
you're not an acting medic, but you're fairly certain that even most species don't survive when their head has been forced down through their torso like that.
I see. Okay. No further moves, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next witness, James, you're
Yes,
up.
Your
Bagerac,
Honor.
you're on deck.
Screw it. I'm gonna jump up and stab it in the face.
Fair enough. Roll to hit, please.
Has it got a face? Can we see like facial features?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
there's
know. 24 to hit.
that hits. Roll some damage.
Okay. second. Bollocks. 13.
Cool.
And
That,
I'll
with,
attack
with the rapier.
again. That's total.
Perfect.
I added on. Yeah, I got 12 with my rapier, and I rolled an extra 1d8 damage and rolled a 1. So
Fantastic.
I'm going to attack again with the other rapier. 23 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
Wow.
And an extra 12 damage, so 25 between the two.
How do you get so much damage with your rapiers?
It's 1d8 plus 4. And for some reason,
That's
Avray
balls.
gave me 12 both times on that.
So as you sweep your rapiers through, you manage to. You don't quite hit it in the face. It's sort of moving its hands to just kind of cover the face a little bit, but you do manage to take off a couple of the sort of upper bows. He goes, "All right, mate, knock it off."
I kind of want to stop now.
Someone
So,
talk to it.
Badgerak,
Oh,
You're
well,
up.
this is the person to talk to it.
Badgerak,
get
you're up. Relaxio, you're on
Axe
deck.
it now.
I think so. It would be hilarious if the barbarian tried to reason with the talking tree.
They might get on a level.
I think he's just convinced that it's a tree and he's just going to hack at it now and just get some firewood off it.
Pretty
Don't even
much.
care.
I'm just gonna swing at it with the great axe, I believe.
Okay.
Shut up, tree.
Wait, Bagerac has vicious mockery now? What?
Fucking hell, a 9 to hit. This hates me
Unfortunately,
tonight.
that misses, or rather, you swing the axe and it manages to just get stuck inside the bark of one of the trees. It
Badgerak's
doesn't
been on the boat
actually-
hooch.
doesn't deliver quite the force that you were expecting.
God.
But as you swing the axe, it just looks down and he goes, What's going on? I'm very confused."
He keeps saying that, but didn't he just like flatten a bloke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Badgerak,
I'm
anything
very
else?
confused myself.
Nope, there's nothing else I can do.
Okay. At this point, the tree is just going to kind of retreat back from you, and as it does, it just takes a step back and brings its hands down to the brambles, and they form up and create two sort of large, about half the height of the tree creature itself, two smaller copies made entirely of bramble.
Oh, great.
So go. They're up. So, that is the end of their turn. Relaxio, you're up. There we go. Relaxio, you're up. Lours, you're on deck.
You've muted.
I'm going to use on the big boy the Toll Dead.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Yes. Get some.
So
That's spell.
that means he has to do a 13 wisdom save.
Which they pass.
Oh,
Oh,
that's it. Well, in that case, I'm done. That's my go over.
So as this
Nearly as good as me.
as this bell ringing sound echoes through the valley, you can see him sort of hold his hands up to his ears and goes, "Ah! It's too loud. Make it stop."
Oh, God.
Oh, dear.
Is that end of your turn, Laxio?
Yeah, I can't do anything else.
Cool.
What a waste of a go.
Lours,
tree.
you're up. Faye, you're on deck.
Does this thing show any sign of not wanting to fight us? It just seems to be carrying on with this despite.
Yeah,
or is that
it's made no attempt to attack any of you. The only thing it's done is summon up two copies of itself from brambles.
It did kill that other wizard guy, though.
It seems really
Is he dead,
taken
though?
aback that you're attacking it.
To be fair, the druid might try and talk to it. You never know.
So, I'm just gonna tell everyone to stop attacking it, or just shout that out to the group.
Okay.
Just stop.
Are you going to talk to it?
It would be more of more than that to actually talk to it, wouldn't it? Because it's what, 6 seconds.
I'd say like
really a thing in combat.
So far we've kind of played fast and loose with shouting commands to your team. If you wanted to then converse with the tree, that would be your action. But sort of going stop to the rest of your party, that's an incidental thing. We've played fast and loose with that.
How far am I from the tree?
You're probably about 20 feet in front of it.
Okay, well I'll run up to it then and just block anybody else from like attacking it, or try to block.
You're gonna hug it.
I'm not going to attack it. I'm just going to just go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to attack it. I'm not going to do anything threatening to it. I'm just going to try and stop them because I haven't got enough time to actually talk to it, and that's all I'm going to do.
Okay, fair enough. So, Faye, you're up. Natasha, you're on deck. So Lours has just darted in front and tried to put himself in the way of the double sickle tickle.
Okay.
Cannon.
Cannon.
It is decreed by Hev.
I will shout at the tree then. Why should we stop fighting you when you have just flattened one of these wizards?
Okay. Is that your action?
Yeah. Against all my better judgment.
Okay. The tree just kind of looks down and he goes, well, he was wearing the robes.
Oh, okay. So this is another planted attack.
Ha! Planted. Good one. I like that one.
Boom!
On purpose, clearly. That was clearly on purpose.
Natasha, you're up.
I'm going to talk to the tree.
Yep.
Where is she?
Where's who?
The
mate?
one with the amulet. The what? Don't lie to me. The one with the amulet. Where is she?
I like how he's gone Australian. She's gone Australian too.
That's racist.
He's putting another shrimp on the Barbie.
Someone's just died off camera.
That's Lours.
Mute myself, I'm sorry.
So Natasha, at this point, the tree looks down to you and goes, I was just supposed to challenge the ones in the robes. I wasn't expecting the rest of you.
Could
Of
you not?
course you weren't. No, that happens. We're a surprising lot.
Yeah. We're surprising murder dolls.
I like to smash things.
At this point, like the situation is clearly starting to de-escalate from the tree. They've stepped down, and the two copies are just kind of just idling. We'll stay in initiative order for now, just in case someone decides to get swipey. So next up is James.
Swipey.
So James, you're up.
Sorry, I just realised I had to have myself muted.
There we go.
I don't know what to do now. I walk over to the remaining wizard and pat him on the back and go, "Go on, fight him."
Make me a persuasion check.
If this fails, you know I'm going to do it again, but with an intimidation, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Because I will never learn.
17.
Which, yeah, they are not convinced. Not even a little bit.
Oh, I'm a 17. Shit.
Yeah, they rolled really high for being piss scared. It just Lumen looks at you and just goes, "No, My
Find him.
my magic alone is no match for a guardian of the forest.
Find him with your light. Kick him in the leg between the legs.
Fair enough. Okay, Bagerac, you're up.
Hmm.
I
I just kick one of the little ones.
Oh my god.
Okay, just roll me an unarmed strike against one of the little ones, please.
Oh god, he's gonna kill it, isn't he?
Oh no.
Bit like
Never-
yeah.
Never seen a tree get
it's a 7 to hit.
decapitated.
Nat one that.
Seven to hit. Yeah, you
Abra hates me again.
you run up and just kick one of the smaller ones, and the brambles kind of just bend and just take the hit. It kind of looks down at you and just it smiles. You're not certain of this creature's intelligence, but this is a very stupid smile it's giving you. It's almost
I'm
like
pretty sure it's not certain of my intelligence either.
it's the same look that you would give a puppy when it's trying to steal your shoelaces. It's that kind of expression it's looking down at you with now.
Just head pat the
It's actually its turn now, so yeah, it's just going to lean down and pat you gently on the head. What's your armor class?
If ever there was a way to make him attack again, that was it.
Bagerac, what's your armor class?
19.
19. Yeah, it just about manages to meter the strength of the pass, so as to just kind of like you feel the pressure of it, but it doesn't like immediately slam you into the floor. Okay, next up you've got the main tree dude, who just looks down and goes, I think we might have got off on the wrong foot here. My name's Spruce, and I'm supposed to guard this valley.
I was really hoping that his name was going to be Korg. My name's Korg. I'm made of wood. Don't be afraid.
Spruce
Made
is
of
better.
axes.
Spruce?
Spruce is better.
Spruce, yeah.
Spruce
Okay.
Australian tree.
That's racist.
If everyone's happy to de-escalate this, I'm quite happy to take us out of initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Don't know what's
I'm
going
not
on
gonna lie, I
anymore.
might have to spend some of this on mute.
Again, none of you can hear my wife laughing her ass off downstairs. 30 seconds behind everything we're saying.
A truth being
So
performance.
Natasha going straight Australian back into it for like 2 weeks.
Okay. All through this, Aradel has just sat on her horse, just arms folded, and at this point she's kind of stepping down and making her way over to the crumpled remains of the wizard who introduced themselves to you as Fiero the Brilliant, who is now Fiero the Pancaked. Proceeds to again pull out the another one of these amulets with the emerald gem, and watch as the body is just sucked up into the amulet, and then puts it away inside her robe, and just sort of shakes her head, tutting and going, Mr. Grosvenor showed such potential. What in, I'm not sure, but I'm sure someone saw it. And wanders back to her horse. So, what are the rest of you up to? We'll start with. I'll use the initiative order just to bring up who's next. I need to run back through that. So yeah, that would have been Relaxio. Relaxio, what are you doing?
Wow. I'm glad you asked, Tom.
Thanks, man.
No, basically, I noticed that the tree itself had some birds in there.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that this week I've been practicing my bird talk, trying to become a bird whisperer.
Yeah.
So, stop! I'm trying to get through it.
No, we're down this rabbit hole. Let's see how far it goes.
So essentially, Tom, what I'd like to do is the bird that's up there, which is just to point out, everyone is yellow. I don't know what bird it is. I'm going to try and communicate with.
Oh God!
All right. Let's call this a nature check.
Thank you. Now, I need to stop smiling for a second because you can't whistle while you smile.
It's true.
Oh, I'm going to turn down my volume a second.
Put the mic away a little.
I was going to say this might not get
how
picked up by
considerate.
Discord, but give it a shot. See how it goes.
I'm looking at the bird.
Oh,
It looks like a male, so I'm going to go a little bit deeper.
That's understandable.
Kitty.
Okay. So
Are you going to try some deep throat whistling?
the message that I'm trying to get across here is,
Yep.
hi, my name is Relaxio, and I'm a Yanti, pure-blood Warlock.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm now
Cool. If you can. Oh, no, you're still going.
And there we go.
Cool. With the accents, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you could make me a nature check, please, to see
I
how
would
convincing this
love
is.
Okay, thank you very much.
Please be
I
good.
check nature.
Or a natural one, I really hope.
I got a 7, Tom. I got a 7 there.
The bird is unmoved.
You just slagged off its mom.
Spruce looks down at you and goes, "Wow, you're fascinating. I've never seen a bird like that before."
So I'm now going to look at. I'm going to look over at James in confusion. Just you know, that look of, what did I just say to him?
Fucking racist. Fucking racist.
What did he say?
Outrageous.
Did you call him a tit?
You plick. You absolute plick. You are.
At this point, Spruce kind of just settles back, and the two smaller tree ants just sort of turn back into like bramble and continue to block the road, and just kind of sits down on a fairly large rock in the middle of the path and goes, "Well, do you lot have any further business? Because my day is pretty much this. Just sit here, make sure no one gets past. That's my job. It's the vow
Can I
I've
heal,
taken."
Bruce?
Wow.
You can try,
great.
but as you look at the wounds that were inflicted on him, you can see that they are already starting to heal fairly rapidly.
Okay.
See, the problem is we do kind of need to get past.
Oof. Well, I'd love to help you, mate, but
Oh, please, mate.
I'm my job here, my sacred vow, as it were, was to guard this pass, and
You shall.
not allowed to let anyone past.
No.
Oh, go on, mate.
No,
Let us through, just a bit.
It is my solemn vow as a forest guardian, not allow anyone past
we
this.
go.
Not allow anyone past or through this valley without my permission.
Can I just use persuasion?
And what would you
this
do it
motherfucker?
for?
Well,
Oh,
as I said, my vow is to not let anyone past this particular section of forest without my permission. So there.
scratching my
What
head
if
with
we
my
found you a
Morningstar again.
female
Can I say?
Bruce?
Can we have your permission to go past then?
What if we happen to find you a sexy bear?
Nice. By the by, what did you say? And he's looking directly at Bagerac.
Scratching my back with my Morningstar. Can we have your permission to go past then?
Yeah. Sure.
There you go.
Oh,
One-
sweet.
I feel like
Ripper.
I've heard that before. Where's-
Yeah, me too,
Oh,
surprisingly.
No one's ever asked
One of my
before.
favourite films, I do believe.
Don't
Immediately
say it.
stands up, picks up this enormous rock that's blocking the centre of the path and just moves it to the side and goes, "There you go. On your way."
Oh, thanks, mate.
And that's where we're going to take a break.
Oh, right.
Oh, thank
And we'll
God.
pick this back up in about 10 minutes or so. So give yourselves a drink, have a piss, have a smoke, whatever you need to do. And so we'll be back here in about 10 minutes.
See
And we're back.
Ah!
Being
I'll
in
be
the
honest,
DM's thunder.
the transition on my sound mix missed the message there, but yes, welcome back, Dice Roll fans.
I can repeat it for you if you'd like. Hold on a second.
Wait, oh,
Oh no.
Special audio option for our avian viewers.
we are on form tonight, people.
Okay,
Who
so
works your borough?
So as you make your way on the valley path after your encounter with Spruce, the forest guardian, Aradel turns to the now one remaining student and says, "I hope you've learnt from this experience, Mr. Ellingworth, that not all encounters need to be immediately met with violence." And she kind of shoots a bit of a dirty look at the rest of you.
I haven't even drawn my weapon. I don't know what you're on about.
So sometimes diplomacy is a far more effective tactic. And you continue on down the road. So about another hour goes by, and you, the path now comes up out of the valley, and the trees start to become a little bit thinner, a little bit sparser. You're still following the path that the Modrons have trampled through, and the ground around you starts to become a little bit more damp, a little bit more boggy. And as you make your way along, you start to come into what could be charitably described as a pleasant swamp. Still smells fairly foul, and the ground is very boggy at this stage, and the horses are having a little bit of, they're getting sort of just up over their hooves in damp mud.
Oh, the humidity is so nice this time of year.
And as you make your way through the swamp, you see ahead of you this large grey mound just kind of shuffling across the path.
Is it Relaxio in his cape?
It is not Relaxio in his cape. He is behind you. You don't know whether he is in his cape, but he's definitely still on a horse.
I'm not on the cape. Okay.
The cape is on me.
How are the birds meant to see me?
The
Exactly.
capes are for the birds.
How are the birds meant to see you otherwise? And at this point, Aradel calls another halt to the movement, and the remaining wizard in the sandy-coloured robes immediately perks up and goes, "Ha! Well, I know through my study of magic and research in the libraries, I've studied almost all of the manuals of monsters for this region, that this is clearly a grey ooze. And it's clearly for those of us who have done the research, because we're interested in things such as magic. We know that this creature only has an effective attack range of about 5 feet and is immune to certain elemental attacks. Allow me to deal with this."
No.
Faix stabs him in the
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like
No.
to punch him in the balls.
No.
As you're saying
Mr.
this,
Ellington.
Aradel just kind of holds a hand up and goes, let's see how this goes.
Oh no.
Natasha, you were protesting?
I was going to protest the boy, but no, we will let him hang
See how
himself
it
by his own rope. Yes.
So as the wizard who has introduced himself to you as Lumen the Radiant steps down, they immediately open and start flicking through the huge tome that they've brought with them. Just going, let me see now. Oh. Resistant to cold, fire, and acid damage. But yes, it does have, let's just check the notes here, it does only have an effective attack range of about 5 feet. And you can see him sort of sizing it up, and he's like, well, I must be about 15 feet away. This is fine. And he closes the book and holds it to one side, then holds up one hand in front of him dramatically and goes, "Stand aside, monster, or I will be forced to use my awesome and powerful And he gets about halfway through the word magic when this, like, sort of bulbous tendril from the mound of grey slime just shoots out and grabs him and pulls him in.
Oh no.
Great.
Oh!
From where you are, you can see the outline of Loom in the Radiant screaming in silence as you can see his robes and then his flesh and then muscle tissue are all quite rapidly corroded away and dissolved inside the body of this creature. The only thing left that you can see is the shining green gem from his recall amulet. At this point, Aradol goes, "Well, seeing as all of my students are dead, but I still have a lesson to teach, I should probably point out that just because you read about a certain characteristic of a certain monster in a book does not necessarily mean that that applies to real-world situations. If you had noticed around these creatures," and points to it, and you can see that there is this sort of like radius around this ooze creature of roughly about 15 feet out, where there is just a barren space around us. At this point, Aradel goes, "Well, it appears that all of my students have failed their final exams through their own stupidity and inability to learn from their past experiences. But I do still have a mission as part of the Wizards College to investigate the origin point of the Modron March. Shall we press on?"
Do you not want to
Why
get
not?
the amulet from the ooze?
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Oh, right, yes, of course. And she snaps her fingers and the ooze immediately bursts into flame. And is
Fuego!
completely consumed after maybe 10-15 seconds with this sort of bubbling, sizzling, boiling noise as it's reduced down to nothing. And Aradel just quite happily trots over, hops down off a horse, picks up and stashes the amulet, gets back up, and continues riding on. So, by this point, it's getting sort of into late afternoon, maybe sort of 3, 4 o'clock. And another hour goes by, and you can see ahead of you the swamp has given way to like an open plain at this point. And directly in front of you, you can see that the ground suddenly dips away. And as you get closer, Aradel calls to halt and gestures that you all do the same. Hop down off the horses. She says, "Well, by my reckoning, this appears to be the point at which the Modrons entered our world. I'm not sure what exactly is over that ridge, but I suggest we proceed cautiously and quietly."
Can I change my skin?
Yeah? What would you like to change to?
It was some guy called Valance. He was.
Yep.
All I've got written down is was inside robot thing.
Yep.
Has blue skin. Black blood.
Yeah. So Valance was the doppelganger hired by Galvin Harris of Galvin Harris's Mechanical Repairs and Pizzeria.
Yeah.
To lead the wayward arm of the Modron March towards Stoutwood's Rest. Valance was a doppelganger, so basically a sort of like featureless, blue-skinned, thin humanoid. So you take on that appearance. You're still wearing your armor and equipment, but your physical appearance underneath that has changed to mirror that imbalance.
Fantastic, thank you.
Okay. So Aradel sort of indicates that you all crouch down and proceed forward a little bit more cautiously. I'm going to need the group to make a stealth check, please.
Oh,
Oh dear.
Pass
the
pass
rolls
without
today.
trace. Is it too late?
Yes,
for
you
me to
can cast
that?
Pass Without Trace if you want.
Yes, please.
does anything to do with my alertness allow me to be stealthier?
Doesn't allow you to be stealthier, but it does prevent you from being snuck up on.
Okay.
Oh,
I must have the cloak.
everyone gets plus 10 now, by the way.
It sounds like you got the cloak
What?
on. It looks
Okay,
like
wow.
you've got.
Okay, so I've got to be honest. Lours, Pass Without Trace, that gives everyone a plus 10 to the roll, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Does that just mean we
I
automatically
basically
all
need to know
do
if
it?
anyone rolled less than a 5.
I rolled a 20.
What was
Tom.
that, sorry?
I literally need to know if anyone rolled
5.
less than a 5. Because regardless
No, I
of
got a
what your...
15.
I was going to say, regardless of what your modifier is, with the plus 10 from Pass Without Trace, only less than a 5 on more than 3 of you would cause an issue.
Sweet.
Sick.
It only lasts for an hour, by the way, so I
That's
don't know what the
fine.
mention.
Okay.
Concentration.
So as you make your way forward, the ground pitches up slightly and comes to this lip. And you can now see down into this large crater in front of you. On the opposite side, maybe, say about 10, 15 feet in from the lip, is this swirling golden portal. And the ground, it's arcing out these brilliant white and golden arcs of lightning to the ground, and you can see that the ground inside the crater is cracked and there's these fissures running all the way through it. In the dead center of the crater is this enormous mechanical construct, humanoid in shape, maybe 30, 35 feet tall. It's just standing there, and where you would expect there to be a head is just this incandescent ball of energy, the same colour as you see in the portal. And it's on a sort of apparatus that's just constantly and slowly rotating round where it stands. Built into the chest, from where you can see, is this sort of almost like coffin-shaped structure with a like a roughly humanoid outline embossed onto the front of it. And at this point, Aradel kind of calls for a brief retreat and says, "Okay. So that's clearly the portal the Modrons came in by. I'm not overly familiar with portal magic, but it should not be doing that. And it should not be doing that to the ground. What I'm going to try and do is get round to it, see if I can stabilise it. If we try and close it now, it could make the entire situation worse."
What about if we threw it?
So, sorry, what did you say, Relaxio?
So what about if we jump through it?
Yeah.
Like
okay.
I say,
What would happen?
I don't know a huge amount about portal magic, but this thing is clearly unstable.
Oh, so what you're saying is you should jump.
If you jump through it, there is an equal chance that you could land safely on the other side, and an equal chance that you could be immediately torn apart into an infinite number of painful shreds, which will scream and suffer for all eternity.
Can we jump
I
into
run
it
through it.
after you
Yeah.
stabilize it?
I mean, once it's stable, it would act as an open doorway between here and, I'm assuming, Mechanus, the home plane of the Modrons.
I like that idea. Let's go with that idea. The tearing apart thing, not so much.
Okay. The only slight hitch in the plan is that thing in the middle. I mean, it's clearly Modron made, and I don't know what it's doing here. I've never seen one that size or construct before.
How can we help? I can already see how this is.
I'm going to try and make my way around the edge of this crater and get behind the portal and try and stabilize it from there. At best, I think I need you guys to try and distract this thing should it become interested, let's say.
Okay.
Okay then.
Nice.
Oh, Bagerac's on board. I guess we'll go be loud then.
I really want to run through it, I'm not going to lie.
Hey!
Would it help if I went with you I can help you be stealthy?
If you want to, yes, I'd be more than grateful for the assistance.
I don't know if she's going, but if she is going, I'll go with her for the pass without trace.
And what do the rest of us need to do, sorry? Make noise.
Oh,
I need you to distract that thing should it become, as I say, interested in me interfering with that portal.
Right, okay. We'll start coming up with some sort of dance routine.
Maybe we can put on some sort of a show.
Yes.
I'm not.
I'll bring the music.
Just riffing here, but we can, I don't know, play some music.
I got some panpipes.
Freebird.
No! No
I'll give us
Freebird!
Trevor.
No stairway.
Somebody say bird.
No Freebird.
Somebody say
Freebird with bird sounds.
I will sing this song.
I have a pan flute.
I mean, I could just
And
use a really big rock at it.
No. We should do like a dance routine
I'm down for a dance routine.
with music.
You gotta get to 10
Going
minutes
to
first.
die.
We're going to die.
I know that routine from that famous In It Together We All Are from the musical of High School.
Of course you are.
I mean, as long as it's
Bird is the
legally
word.
distinct and doesn't infringe on some sort of copyright, I'm sure it would be. We could use it.
Bird is the word is a great idea.
That's who could that have been from?
Stand there and do peanut butter jelly time.
Jelly of the peanut time.
Come on, you got to pick one of these songs to distract it with.
Yeah, bird.
Come on,
Bird
B-game.
is not the word.
All right, I'll get the death loot out.
I really like the idea of bird as the word with little interludes for the bird calls from Relaxio.
Okay, so what's the plan then?
Come on.
We are the all singing, all dancing distraction of the world.
I think we're going to try and put on some sort of a musical theatre
Oh,
display.
props! We got props.
I'm thinking.
What are you saying, that we are Pete's colon?
An out of tune banjo.
Perfect for the death loop.
Oh dear.
This is happening now, Tom.
Okay, so
Hold on a sec.
Rocks
Wait,
down
oh,
with
yeah.
a banjo. Oh, he's got a keyboard.
1 sec, I'll go set the drum set up behind me.
You've only got yourself to blame for this.
Oakley,
I'm missing 3 out of 6 strings.
Are you missing the fact that I have a literal drum kit stacked behind me? Like...
This is going to go swimmingly.
okay,
Actually, I've got a guitar downstairs. If you will wait and let me go and play it.
I beg you don't.
at this stage we really don't have time, but I appreciate the effort. So, let me
It's
get this
no
straight.
trouble.
So,
I can get it right away.
Lours, you're going to be assisting Aradel
Yeah,
in sneaking around and getting to the portal. The rest of you are going to be putting on an impromptu song and dance performance to distract this
Yes.
construct.
You said so. I was just going to hurl a rock
I mean,
at it, but
I'm
okay.
not going to lie to you. I feel like, being a mechanism it is, I don't feel like it's going to work.
I was going to throw a rock at
this,
it first.
This is going to be
so-
fine. It's going to be like close encounters.
Okay. Well, tell you
I
what
think we
then.
worked it out.
I will.
Alright.
I'll get you all to roll initiative just so we can go through and list who's doing what,
Okay.
and then we'll resolve it all.
Three
the same
string
time.
short of a guitar.
Do you know what? That sounds like a really good
New
indie
party
band.
name.
3 strings short of a guitar.
Sorry, I'm blaming him.
I mean, Badger can start hitting some rocks and we'll have some rock music to go with it.
Yeah. Just
Got
use
some
back
Music
heel
with
to-
rocks in it.
I didn't want to say it like that.
Oh, anyway,
Yeah.
roll initiative.
You just use
Oh,
back
that's-
machine
Sorry,
just
are
like a
we
drum.
actually rolling for initiative?
So,
now?
yeah,
We
roll-
certainly are.
Roll
Yeah.
for initiative just to work out what happens and in what order.
Oh dear.
So, Bagerac,
17.
17, Faye,
22.
James,
6.
Lours,
17.
Natasha,
11.
and finally Relaxio.
6.
Thank you for the
was too
dual
busily talking.
language.
That was far too extravagant for a 6.
Okay.
Ooh, muchy.
So, given the size of the crater, it's going to take Aradel and Lours maybe 2 or 3 rounds to make their way around to the far side of the portal and start what they need to do. So, first round is going to be Aradel and Lours making their way around. So they make it about halfway round. So if they go from like sort of 6 o'clock to the 3 o'clock position, going anti-clockwise around this crater. So the rest of you, if we start with Faye, what are you doing?
I thought I guess if there's nothing going on, we'll be practicing for our big performance.
Okay, so you're just
In case.
just at the lip. This is more immersive than I could have ever wished for.
This is what you get.
Okay, Bagerac, are you also tuning up?
Yeah, I'm
Dear
just going to
God,
get.
don't get the drum kit.
I'm also going to get a rock ready to get its attention with first as well.
Okay, so you're prepping a rock. Natasha,
Yeah.
I am looting up a storm,
tuning up the Death Loose.
warming up these nimble fingers for the diggity dig 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 diggity dig 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 diggity dig 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 dig.
I do feel I would get the drum out, but I feel that my neighbour wouldn't appreciate it right now.
Okay.
This is important. Make them learn. This is for imagination.
James, you prepping an instrument of any description?
I'm going to play the glockenspiel or the spoons, whatever comes easiest.
I believe, given the amount of preparation you would have put into getting an instrument ready ahead of time, spoons is more likely.
And I'll be playing the spoons.
Okay.
I
And
feel
then
that I should have
finally,
bought my cajon this
Relaxio.
evening.
Relaxio, what are you doing?
Well, I feel like it's pretty obvious. Obviously, I'm vocalist.
You are. I've always said you sing like a bird, Relaxio.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Dice Roll fans want James to be on base.
Okay, apparently I'm
Yep.
base.
Okay.
Base spoons.
So,
Base,
um,
my basey spoons.
so
Labels.
just for the sake of brevity, are you guys going to be doing anything before Lours and Aradel make it to the portal?
Practicing.
Pretty much no, because we need to get their attention.
Are
when
any
that
of you
happens, don't we?
keeping an eye on them to see how close they are to the portal?
Yes,
I
I've got a
am-
rock ready to throw.
Cool.
As
So,
as an already accomplished death lootist, I am. Yeah, I don't need to rehearse. I'll do it
So-
live.
we'll skip ahead a little bit. So at this point, both Aradel and Lours have made it to the portal. Aradel begins channeling her arcane energies towards the portal to try and stabilize it. And the flickering around the edges starts to subside a little bit, but doesn't necessarily stop. It's still flickering away. The construct in the middle hasn't noticed at this point.
I am glad to hear that.
Yeah, good.
Are the rest of you doing anything?
Go back to that
We'll go back through the order. Faye? If you're not doing anything, just say
nothing
still
new.
holding.
No. Yep, still holding.
Badrak?
Just
Holding.
waiting. Hand.
Natasha?
Ready to strum.
Holding.
James?
Power chord.
Relaxio?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Tom.
Go on.
I'm gonna step forward
Oh,
a
no.
little bit closer to the construct itself. I'm gonna sort of
Start whirlwinding
bend
your head.
the right knee a little bit to the side. My arm in the air.
Ah, he's doing
Finger
it.
pointing in a pose. I'm gonna hold there with the head bob.
As soon as you take a step over the lip and start getting into position, you see this thing start to straighten up, and the rotating apparatus on the top immediately turns and stares straight at you. Doesn't have
That was
eyes,
the intention.
but it is fully focused on you.
Getting dueling banjos.
Lours, you would have seen this happen, but you're still stealthed up behind the portal at this point.
Yeah, I don't think I got. How far am I away from them?
So
from the
at
rest
this
of the group?
point, you are on the other side of this crater, so you are probably... So you're probably about... looks like going to be about 70 feet away.
Ah, balls. No, I got nothing to do. Tell.
Okay.
No, just yeah. Ish.
So this thing has started to whir into life, and Faye, what are you doing?
Well, I'm going to turn to the group, and I'm going to go on a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to burst into song.
Oh, so are you doing this from the outside of the crater?
Well, I've already stepped over.
I know, Relaxio,
Yeah,
you've
so
already
we're gonna have to
stepped
walk
in.
up.
Yeah, we'll stay where we are, yeah.
So you're just on the lip of this
Where we
crater.
at.
That's fine. Okay.
With the audience beneath you.
Mhm.
Lours, you hear Aradel swear in what you assume is tiefling under her breath, and she continues to focus on the portal. And the lightning starts to ebb a little bit less on there. Bagerac, what are you up to?
I am going to join in with this beautiful band.
Yeah,
And
it's got to start drumming.
I use my shield
The
as
count
well as a
happened.
symbol or something. Yeah.
Okay. Lours, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna watch what they're doing. I'm not gonna distract her because something's clearly up, and I'm guessing, needs to focus. I assume it looks like she needs to focus. or does
Okay,
she?
no worries. Are you readying any kind of action or spell?
No. No, I'm just gonna do nothing.
Okay,
I'm just gonna
that's
sit
fine.
and keep an eye on.
Natasha, what are you up to?
I have adopted a firm power stance on the very crest of the hill, holding my death loot and matching in time with the rest of the group. I perform wonderfully.
Excellent.
This is
You
the
say
best
yourself.
moment for the actor trait ever.
It is at this point that the ball of energy on top of the construct flares up and it becomes a much more intense incandescent light source, and both of the arms rotate and spin to reveal an enormous axe, like a double-headed battle axe, and an enormous hammer.
Fuck.
And this
Stand
thing
firm, everyone.
starts striding towards you.
Does any of us have the ability to charm creatures?
Yes.
I've got a potion of something or other.
Okay.
Probably not good enough on this, but I think Relaxio says she can.
Do we want to try and charm the thing?
Well,
Oh, don't like someone might know.
Wait, I don't know whether it can be
Probably
charmed.
doesn't
In
know.
fairness, because it might be a magical construct, which.
At this point, it has started walking, like striding quite purposefully towards Relaxio. At this point, it's maybe 10, 15 feet away from Relaxio.
Can I jump in? Can I shout?
We are in initiative order at this point.
Who is it? Who's it now?
Next up is James.
Ooh.
Okay. I'd like to match Natasha's power stance. Really go for playing some bass spoons.
Okay, getting into those base spoons. That's fine.
And hopefully this is adding to whatever charm bollocks we're going to do later on.
I see you played
I feel like
Basie
we should all
Spoony
roll it.
before, mate.
That's fine. In light of that, can I get both Natasha and James to make a performance check, please?
Yes. Can I get insight for Basie Spoony?
Do you
can,
want?
You know what? Yeah, you can get
Give him
insight for
insight,
Basie
give that.
Spoonie.
Do you?
Yes.
Can I just assume that I'm trying to help Natasha, so rather than roll, just give him advantage?
Yeah, you can certainly give Natasha advantage.
Something
Sick.
like that,
What
right?
about the rest? What about the
Alright,
rest of
I
the
mean,
band?
fundamentally, that is the purpose of the bass player.
ow.
What about the rest of the band?
The
Wait
rest
their
of you,
fucking turn.
the rest of you are not within, because you haven't gone over the lip of the crater yet. It can't draw a direct
I
line
have
of sight
four-
to you.
I have 14.
Excellent. Okay, I will make a note of that. Relaxio, you're up. This thing, like I say, this thing's probably about 10, 15 feet in front of you at this point, and it's
Wow.
just drawn weapons and is striding quite purposely towards
I'm
you.
glad you asked. I'm gonna cast Armor of Agathis. Yeah.
Okay.
The retaliation combo, innit?
Here we go. Oh shit.
Okay.
So I'm good now.
I'm good now.
And then on my section, my bonus action, I would like to put my branding smite on.
Okay, 2 seconds.
No, I won't. No, forget that.
So you
Does
cast.
branding smite do?
It adds extra damage.
So
I'm
you
not good at
cast Armor of Agathis on yourself, yeah?
Yeah, and then I stand in my pose, and then I'm gonna point the finger at the approaching mech. Wait, that's it done.
So far we're all power posing as it walks at us.
So far, yes. Every single one of you, with the exception of Faye and Badger, who are not quite into the position to power stance, and Lours, who's actually taking this kind of seriously, are just literally just like.
Can I
Classic laws, that's all
Yeah.
I'm going to say.
can I just point something out here?
power
we were told to
stancing.
distract it, and we are distracting it.
Don't get me wrong, it's clearly
Yep.
taking your attention. Okay,
Stand by for construction.
so top of the round, the construct lifts one enormous armored foot up and stamps down onto the ground. I'm going to need Lours, Relaxio, Natasha, and James to all make me dex saving throws, please.
Oh, fuck.
Saving throw. Oh, that's ass.
23.
Nice.
13.
Oh, I made a check. I get an extra +2 to that, so yeah.
Dex
so I
save,
did a
buddy, not a check.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I did a dex, but all it means is I add an extra 2 rather than +4. It should be +6, so it's 23.
So you got so just run through Lours. What did you get?
13.
13.
You mean at 19, James?
So Lours got 13.
Yes.
Relaxio, what did you get?
16.
Oh, no, never mind. I'm
16. Natasha?
23.
And James, you got 24, did you say?
3.
Okay.
23.
So as the foot comes down onto the ground, the fissures that are running all the way through suddenly flare to life, and these gouts of arcane energy just blast up through the floor. All of you manage to see this being telegraphed fairly quickly and step aside to some solid ground and avoid getting hit by this sudden discharge of energy coming up from the ground. So, top of the round, Faye, you're up. What are we doing?
Hello, friend. It is me, Valance. I am here with my new band, the 3-string short of a banjo. We've come to entertain you this evening.
And are you saying this from the far side of the lip, or have you stepped into the crater at this point?
I'm in the crater. Fuck it.
Okay,
I'm not scared. I'm a friend.
that's fine by me. So you've stepped into the crater, and you can you make me a persuasion check, please?
Sure, I can.
You guys are killing me.
I'd say
Well, that would be a
persuasion or deception, your choice, actually.
Okay.
You'll hear head in the
Oh,
background.
and that 20 then.
Oh boy!
Oh,
Yes.
That's
Yes.
two today. Let's go.
Yes. Come on.
Power of the banjo.
So is that 22 in total?
Yeah, it is 22 in total.
As you say it, the orb on the top turns and focuses towards you.
Quick,
Anything else?
play something.
Hello.
That's that it? Okay.
Yeah, cool. Done.
So, next up,
Fucking
we've got
inspired.
Aradel back at the portal. Lours, I'm going to need you
not
to make
known
another
for
dex saving throw, please.
Oh, bollocks.
As Aradel tries to contain the
Oh,
energies now
no,
swirling
that's
around the portal,
worse.
something goes a little bit wrong, and there's a sudden lash of energy coming out from it.
Gordon.
9.
9. You're
Oh
caught
God, this is
completely
how it
unawares and take 3 points of force damage, and
Oh,
you
God.
are knocked 5 feet back from the portal.
Okay.
So you're basically just this sudden like arc of energy just whacks you in the face and knocks you back on your ass. You manage to retain your footing, but it still stings.
Okay.
It's still smart.
Still hurts, not lethal. Bagerac, you're up. Lours, you're on deck. So Bagerac, at the moment you appear to be the only person who hasn't moved into the crater.
Yeah, I'm just going to grab my shield and whatever I can cobble together as something to hit, and just move up to the edge of the crater.
Yep. That's fine. Are you
And then,
doing
get
anything
ready.
else, or are you
No, just get ready for on command.
Okay.
We're mid-song now, I reckon.
Okay. Lours, you're up. Natasha, you're on deck.
I am going to transform into a direwolf, and I'm just going to position because I got moved back, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
said. Did Aradal get moved back as well?
Aradel managed to preempt it. She made her saving throw.
Okay, so I'm going to put myself between her and the creature, and I'm going to ready an attack for if the creature goes for her.
Okay, 2 secs. And so you're in direwolf form.
Yes, please.
Fine. Okay. And you're positioning yourself between Aradel and the constructs.
And yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. So, what's your movement speed as a direwolf?
It is 50 feet.
Okay, so that could basically take you over halfway across the pit, across this crater, if you wanted to.
I don't want to go too far from her in case it can move real quick or something. I don't know.
So you're moving sort of 20, 30 feet?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine then. Okay. And you're just readying an attack in the event that the...
Yes, if it
turns and goes for Aradel.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Understood. Right, next up then, we've got Natasha. James, you're on deck. So Natasha, what are you doing?
What's going on with this construct, right?
So at the moment, it's making strides towards the 5 of you that are just at the inner edge of this crater.
Okay. I am just gonna keep on playing.
Okay. So what is your intention with... By continuing to play, what are you intending to do?
Do you know what?
I guess we're just trying to convince it of what I said, right? Like that we are a band and we're here to entertain it whilst it's working.
Can I use Phantasmal Force?
You certainly can. Just remind me.
Would it work on the construct? I craft an illusion that takes root in the mind of the creature that it can see within range.
Let's have a look. So, you can certainly
Oh,
try.
wait, this spell has no effect on undead or constructs. Fuck. Okay. I just be playing. Maybe a little bit of heat metal.
I really thought you were going to go with a little bit of Erica by your side.
Yeah.
A little bit of heat metal on my loot.
So we're casting heat metal.
We're casting the fuck out of heat metal, yeah.
Okay, no worries.
Choose a manufactured metal object, such as a metal weapon or a suit. Yeah. You cause the object to glow red hot. Any creature in physical contact with the object takes 2d8 fire damage when I cast the spell.
Okay,
Nice.
no worries. Roll me some fire damage as you start to strum on your death loot. The entire of the construct starts to glow.
9 fire damage.
9 fire damage. Excellent.
Ain't no fuego, like a musical fuego. Wah!
Does the when you attack with that, is it a spell that you're obviously casting, or could that be coming from anywhere?
It's not like a charm it's not like a charm or anything, I don't think. But it
has semantic components, though, doesn't it?
No, I just need a piece of iron and a flame.
Do you have a piece of iron and a flame?
Well,
The piece of iron's the construct, and then I make it glow
I was
red
going
hot.
to say your death loot is your spell. Your death loot's your spell focus, so it substitutes the material cost.
Yes.
Ah.
And there we go.
Unless there was like a specific gold value attributed to a certain material.
It has disadvantage on any attack rolls and ability checks.
Okay, that's fine.
So good. So good. Oh, battle music's kicking up.
Excellent. So,
We should have
game
dueling
plan
banjos on instead.
Yeah, I feel like we should have like dueling banjos or something going on in the background here.
okay. So it
But
has to
then went
make
down for Georgia.
a Constitution saving throw or drop itself, which it can't do. So yes, disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks until the start of your next turn, Natasha. Anything else from yourself?
No, that would be it. Just rock on, loot on.
Okay. So at this point, the construct is now, let's say, probably about. It's drawing up. Started moving across towards Faye a little bit, and as it does, it stops, and you see the core, like this sort of burning incandescent orb on top of it, flare brightly, and just this wave of golden flames floods across the lot of you. And I'm going to need for each of you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Of course it would be.
That includes me, sorry.
Not yourself, Lours. You are actually behind it at this point, facing. It's
Okay.
facing the other
Fuck
way.
yeah. 23.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
I've got disadvantage, but I still got 16.
Wow, impressive.
The rolls have been great tonight.
Natasha.
Yeah, you've been popping off.
So that's Natasha and Faye. Relaxio, what did you get?
Oh, I got a whopping 5.
Okay. Bagerac?
19.
19. And James?
25.
Okay, so Relaxio, you take 11 points of fire damage. The rest of you take 5 points of fire damage.
So my nat 20 didn't persuade it then.
Doesn't appear to.
No.
5 points fire damage.
Yes.
Wow.
That's
Tom, my racial trait is that I have an advantage in saving throws, spells, and magical effects. Does that mean I should have rolled with an advantage?
Yes, yeah. If you re-roll again, see what you get.
Let's fucking go, Relaxio.
I hope I've done that right.
Yay!
What did you get?
19.
Sorry? 19? Okay, so you just take the 5 points.
Cool.
Oh, made me feel a lot better then.
Okay. It then raises the axe high up into the air and makes a sweep at the lot of you. And I'm going to need you to make another dex saving throw, please.
I don't get advantage on this one.
You're a hard taskmaster.
This thing's just fucking cleaving
Yeah.
everybody, isn't it?
Cack.
You know?
Yeah, it didn't go so well for me that time.
Can I use my inspiration, please?
You can, yes, yeah.
Ooh.
Wait, can I use it after I've rolled the dice?
Yes, yeah, but you have to accept the second roll.
Okay, cool.
Can I have inspiration?
Just cuz. Forgetting the banjo out.
17! Let's fucking go!
Okay, so let's just go through then. So starting with Faye,
6.
you take 26 points of slashing damage.
Oh,
Bagerac,
fuck me.
Holy Christ!
Hell!
I got 21.
Jesus.
21, you take 13 points of slashing damage. Relaxio,
11.
you take 26 points of slashing damage.
Okay. Can I just because he hit me while I still had armor of Agathis?
Yep.
He takes.
Yep, they do take some damage from that, don't they? What's that?
It's just 10 frost damage. Also, it's a reaction. I would like to cast Hellish Rebuke.
Go for it, yeah.
Yes.
So where the frickin' hell do I do it now? I cast. Okay, so he has to do a Dex saving throw of 30.
Okay, which it has disadvantage on due to heat metal. Let's have a look. Does it get any bonuses? No, so it's a dex saving throw. Yeah, it fails.
So he takes 17 damage from that, 27 in total.
So it
Yeah,
takes 27 damage
Christ.
back as fire damage.
No, it's 17 as fire, 10 as frost.
Okay,
Cold.
that's fine.
Hit me for 26, I hit him for 27. Suck my for all the bird fans.
Yeah, that's fine. The flame gout shoots up and just takes a decent... starts to sear part of it. What you notice as you cast Hellish Rebuke, though, is this sort of like coffin shape in the chest appears completely unaffected, and there is a faint golden glow surrounding it. The rest of the armor of the construct appears to be, summarily battered and beaten from the various hits that have come in, but this one section is just untouched. Natasha, what did you get for your dex save?
Oh, I got 17.
17, so you take 13 points of slashing damage.
Fuck me, dude.
And finally,
Okay.
James.
24.
So you take 13 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And you can breathe a mild sigh of relief, as that is the end of its turn.
Well, thank shit.
Fucking hell.
James, you're up.
Hey.
Relaxio, you're on deck.
Fuck me.
Just a
feel like
quick,
the band
quick
isn't
question.
working.
Yeah.
I've got something called absorb elements.
Yep.
Reaction to being hit by the fire, but because I say I made the dexterity save, spell captures some of the incoming energy, lessening its effect on you and storing it for your next melee attack. You have resistance to the triggering damage type until the start of your next turn. Also, the first time you hit with a melee attack on your next turn, the target takes an extra 1d6 damage of the triggering type and spell ends.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to use that as a reaction, that's absolutely fine.
I just didn't want to dive in when you were talking. I don't know whether that means I take less damage or not, because I don't think so. I passed the saving throw.
So it's triggered by taking damage from acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. So the fire damage would have triggered it. So after you've taken the damage, you have resistance going forward until the start of your next turn, which is now.
Okay.
But you do store 1d6 fire damage for your next. So the first time you hit with a melee attack on your next turn, so now the target takes an extra 1d6 of fire damage.
Okay, right, got it. In which case, I will use my bonus. Hang on, let me just so I can keep this square on Evray first. So if is it just 1C to cast, or is that check?
So if you're casting a spell, you have to type cast.
Okay, so yes. Okay, and my next one, I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark.
Okay, yep.
To keep it as a bonus action, that is. Now I will attempt to attack it with my rapier. 20 to hit, not natural, obviously.
Okay, that's fine. Yep, that definitely hits.
Okay. Second
so this will be your first rapier, so yeah, so if you start off, so if you just roll your base damage.
Just trying to add it all up now, mate. That's horribly upsetting. And I think Absorb Elements does extra fire damage, which is what, 1d6?
Yep.
Okay, so I do 6, 12. Oh, that's upsetting. I only managed to do 15 damage, 3 of which is fire damage.
Okay. Does that take into account your Hunter's Mark?
That is Hunter's Mark, Colossal Slayer,
Oh
Absorb
wow.
Elements.
Okay. That
So
was
I really, yeah.
that was a
It's
bit
more
of a whiff.
Yeah, well, no, it's because my piercing was only 6, and then
Yeah.
I rolled a 5 and a 3 for the others. So the others were. Oh, and I got a 1 for my colossal thingy.
Yeah.
That really fucked me, and yeah.
So yeah, as you bring the first rapier down, you carve a nice deep gash into some of the armor plating, and again, like Relaxio, you see that the as the fire damage goes off, it just doesn't. It sort of just passes over this like coffin shape in the chest, without leaving a mark. Similarly, as you're close enough now to see any sort of like slashing impact or any sort of damage that's come near to this piece, the damage appears to have impacted and affected the construct itself, but the coffin shape is completely untouched. It's just got this faint golden glow to it.
Okay.
Okay. You going in with a second strike?
I can't because that's a bonus action, isn't
Oh,
it?
of course, yeah, you Hunter's Marks. Yep, no, that's fine then. So, next up then, we've got Relaxio.
It's me.
It's a you. Relaxio.
It's a me. Relaxio.
Cool.
Well, I guess I'm going to go for the old sickle tickle and for dagger. That's
That
one for you, Heather.
Might be trademarked.
Yeah, but I didn't go for the double sickle tickle.
Oh, just a single sickle tickle.
Yeah, just the
Okay.
single sickle tickle.
Yep. Nope, that's
And
fine.
again, just for my bird fan.
Yep.
And the single sickle tickle with the dagger reach around.
That's a powerful and haunting image.
I attack first off, Tom, with my fang.
Yep.
Which is the sickle, and my hit is 19.
That hits. Roll me up some damage, please, brah.
I do 5 slashing damage.
Excellent. So, yeah, the sickle cuts again. It cuts in, and this time you cut directly across the lower section of this sarcophagus, and you see this time your blade cuts in either side on the construct, but just passes through the coffin shape.
So it doesn't actually take any damage, or it does?
It just all you see is it's like you see Relaxio go up and he lashes out with the sickle and cuts. You see it's a clean hit. It goes in one side, comes out the other, but in the transect where it goes through this coffin shape, there is no impact. There's no evidence or sign of it damaging it. But on either side, there's a dead straight line where the sickle has carved into the body of the construct.
You reckon we need to do magic or fire to damage it then?
Well, let me just hit with my second attack. The dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Which comes shooting out of my hand, and boom! Oh, 5.
Did you? Can I assume by that you biffed it a little bit on the second one?
Yeah, I went for a 5, Tom.
Yeah.
Went for it.
Yep. Yeah, that's.
I tripped on a rock.
You tripped on a discarded rock that almost seemed like it was being prepared to be thrown at something, but cast away when shit went south.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that'd be from.
Cool. Is that the end of your turn?
That is the end of my
Put
turn.
this
sir.
rock here.
Cool.
Me
So,
looking sheep.
Faye, you're up.
Fuck.
Bagerac,
I'm
you're on deck.
I'm gonna shout to the group. The band thing doesn't seem to be working.
No.
I'm gonna invoke
I will allow a free
Crimson-
action for anyone who wants to come back with no shit.
I'm gonna evoke Crimson Right.
Yep.
Which is probably a bad idea with this. Oh god, with this much damage, but cool. So I'm taking 3 damage. And then I'm going to go for a double sickle tickle.
Okay. Get in there with that double sickle tickle.
Oh fuck. 11 to hit.
11 misses.
Okay, let's try the second
In your
one.
weakened state, your strikes aren't quite as accurate as you thought. What was that?
8.
Also misses, unfortunately. You've lost a lot of blood at this point, and you're feeling a little bit woozy, and just kind of stumbling around. The double sickle tickle is more tickle, less sickle at this point.
Done then.
Cool. So, next up we've got Aradel, who's again going to try and stabilise this portal. And she succeeds. Lours, you kind of turn your head round, and those of you up on the ridge, so at this point Bagerac and Natasha, you see that the energy around the portal starts to calm down. It becomes a much more smooth, just steady circle. Those of you fighting down inside the crater notice also that the fissures running through and across the floor, they've dimmed significantly and become less active. Okay. Next up then, we've got Bagerac with Lours on deck. So, Bagerac, what are you doing?
How far away is the construct from me?
About 15 feet.
Well, I'm going to enter a flying rage just because they obviously did not like my drumming with random rocks and my shield.
Nope, that's fair.
So
I honestly don't know how it didn't work.
So annoyed that didn't happen. And then I'm going to run and attack recklessly at them.
Okay.
With my Morning Star.
That's fine. Yep. If you can roll
Dare they not like our band?
Roll to attack, please.
It's a 16 to hit.
That hits. Yep. Roll some damage.
It'll be 7. And it's silvered if it makes any difference.
Again, you see the same thing as Relaxio. You get a good solid hit with the Morning Star, but it just goes in, almost sort of passes through the coffin, and you feel it just connect inside the workings of this construct, which is it's starting to slow down a little bit now. At this point, its movements are a little bit tricky.
You say it's a coffin. Is it like literally like a person could get inside?
It's a coffin. You reckon it's probably about 7 foot tall or so?
Right. Okay.
Okay. Anything else from yourself, Bagerac?
There is not, because I can do nothing.
Magic, have you still got movement?
Yeah.
How would you feel about maybe climbing inside the magic coffin?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So, next up then, we've got Lours in Davesprout form. Natasha, you're on deck.
Steppenwolf.
Slight bit of metagaming maybe, but who's looking the most fucked up here? Okay, so Faye's raising her hand here.
Faye, I would say, from your position, you can quite clearly see that Faye is losing a lot of blood.
Okay. I will, with my... can I do that? Yeah, with my action drop direwolf form.
Yep.
And as my bonus action, put... Where's everyone else in relation to Faye? Just so what I'm trying to do is basically the healing spirit has a 5-foot cube, so I want to get it to heal Faye and as many people as I can. That's what I'm going for.
Okay, so to do that, because of the size of the construct and how far it's spacing everyone out, you're probably looking at being able to get Faye and Bagerac, but that'd be about it.
Okay, I'll go for that. I'll drop it in between the two of them, and does it cast on the whenever they enter the space for the first time? So yeah, I'll use. So it has 6 heals, so I'll use 2 of the heals on. Actually, Bagerac, have you actually taken damage?
Yes.
Then I'll use it 2 of the heals on Faye and Bagerac.
Okay,
because
no worries. So if you can roll up
if it works like that.
Roll up some heals for that then, please.
So that's okay. Where's my? So that's 6 to Faye and 4 to Bagerac.
Okay. Cool.
That's it. I'm
There we
just
go.
gonna.
Just for
concentrate
clarity, I've put up a terrible paint shop version of a battle map on the voice channel for you to get a better idea of where everyone's positioned.
I can't see it properly.
Just
Yeah, I can only see like a quarter of it.
Yeah, top
yeah,
left.
mate.
Okay, don't know why it's doing that.
The stream you're viewing has reduced video. Blah blah blah.
Shit game.
I'm going with Tom's laptop can't handle with having all this on.
Yeah, I think it might
Probably, yeah. I will get rid of that then, because it's going to die.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Possibly kill
If
the
I
stream.
wasn't in 60 feet in that, by the way, I needed to move to 60 feet to cast
so
that if
yeah,
I
you've
wasn't
just
already
moved probably about half the distance between where you are and where the construct is. So that puts you about 15 foot out from the construct.
balls, but okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's me done then.
End of your turn. Okay, fantastic. So, Natasha, you're up. You've still got heat metal going on.
So, as my bonus action, I think I can cause that to keep going, right?
You can trigger the damage again as a bonus action, yep.
Lovely, yes. So
Cool.
another
So you can roll me some damage for that then, please.
2d8. Absolutely, mate. Do you know what, for you? I will.
You tease.
6 fire damage.
Excellent.
What else can I do?
So again, the construct flares red hot, but as with before, you just see this sort of shimmer of golden energy across this coffin shape, and it is again untouched.
Can I cast heat metal on the coffin thing instead of the construct? Or is it made of metal?
2 seconds. What is heat metal as a spell? It's an action. So yeah, you could. You could certainly try. Doing so would be your action for this turn, and use another spell slot.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I cast heat metal on the sarcophagus thingy.
Okay. So you drop heat metal on the construct, and as you focus heat metal through the magic of the death loot onto the coffin, I need you to make a charisma saving throw, please.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Thankfully, he's good at that.
19.
Oh
19.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, boy.
You take 11 points of fire damage as the spell backfires.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, no, you made the saving throw. You take
shit.
5 points of fire damage as the spell backfires.
Okay.
So you can feel this sort of feedback coming through on the death loot, and you're too far into the cast to cancel it without causing some serious harm. So you just kind of brace yourself to ride out whatever happens.
I got blisters on me fingers.
Yep.
I convey. Can I communicate that to everybody else that the spell backfired?
Yep.
Yeah. Do not touch that fucking sarcophagus, guys.
It's really lucky because I was literally going to jump into the middle of it.
Yeah, don't touch that shit.
Well, no, it's because you attacked it from the outside, though. It might still work from the inside. I just wasn't crawling in because he has heat metal cast on the damn thing.
I forgot about that.
Okay. So is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Natasha? Cool. So, let's go. It is the construct's turn. James, you're on deck.
Okay.
So the first thing it's going to do is lift up its hammer fist and slam it down towards Relaxio. Alexio, what's your armor class, please?
It is 16.
Okay. So you take 17 points of bludgeoning damage, and I need you to make a strength saving throw, please.
Oh, yeah. I got 20.
Okay. So it slams down into the ground, and you just about manage to dodge out of the way, but not quite. So you still take the brunt of the force from the hammer coming down, but you avoid being completely flattened underneath it.
Hear it.
As it does that, it brings the axe down on top of Bagerac. Bagerac, what's your armor class, please?
19.
It misses.
Hey.
So the damage it's taken has slowed its movements enough that you're able to sort of anticipate the arc of this axe coming down and just get out of the way in time.
Fuck you son of a bitch.
The burning sphere at top flares into life, and this gout of golden flame shoots out directly towards James. James, what's your armor class, please?
17.
17. Again, as it does, you can see it sort of. It's slow enough now for you to preempt it and just sidestep out of it as this sort of golden beam of white hot energy just arcs straight past you into the spot where you were. Where it hits the ground behind you, you see it immediately turns some of the stones there to glass. Okay. So, James, you're up. Relaxio, you're on deck.
Okay, just think I'm going to go in for it. So I'll attack with my rapier.
Yep.
20 to hit.
That hits. Yeah, roll some damage.
1 second.
Sure, you don't want to climb inside the damn thing.
So you've still got Hunter's Mark active.
Yeah. That's 15 on the first one.
Yep.
I'm assuming that I don't have any energy to hit. No. Absorb elements is finished now, hasn't it?
It has, yes.
Attack. So I try and attack with my offhand. 21 to hit.
That hits as well. Get some damage in there.
And fuck you, you cock. 14 damage that time, so I guess that would be 29 in total across the two attacks.
Excellent. So yeah, so as you bring the first attack in, you manage to get into sort of one of the bicep on its left arm where the battle axe is deployed from, and you just rip out a chunk of gears, and as you can see, like all the inner workings are now completely exposed on that arm. And then following up with the second attack, you drive it down into this opening on it and sort of spin and twist your wrist, and as you do, you just completely shear the axe arm off and away from the construct.
Hey. As I'm doing that, are we able to surround it? I'm not sure on how the mechanics of that worked. Did you all need to be sort of equal distance around it to get advantage on attack rolls, or is it just a tough shit?
Given its size, it wouldn't matter.
Right, that's fair enough.
It's so large that you get the same ability to hit it from wherever you're positioned. If it was a smaller target, then yes. Okay, so Relaxio, you're up. Faye, you're on deck.
That's me. That is me. Right. So I'm going to. Am I going to run away? Nah. I'm going to attack. I'm going to fang the shit out of it.
Go for it. Roll to hit.
Boom! I got 20 to hit.
Nice.
Nat 20 or dirty 20?
Just a dirty one.
Dirty 20. Yep, that definitely hits. Give me some damage.
4.
Nat 20s don't mean anything
4.
in this game.
Cool. So yeah, the Fang of Mashork comes in, and as you swing it again, you're ripping out just chunks from the torso of this thing. Now the just the rage behind your strike is really driving the point home. Are we going for a second attack?
We're going for a dagger daggy.
Daggy.
Dag. You
Go
like
for it.
dag? And that's also got me a 20.
That definitely hits. Roll me some damage, please.
It's free magical piercing damage.
Excellent. How do you want to do this?
Oh yeah, baby.
Hooray!
I'm thinking with sickle and dagger, I'm going to go in full like rage Wolverine, where I'll just like swing as fast as I can, just ripping chunks out. By chunk, cutting little bits off.
As you're doing this, you're pressing the attack. The rest of the party are just a little bit stunned by this sudden outburst of extreme violence, even to the point at which Bagerac has just kind of gone, "That's a bit much, mate." But you are just carving chunks and chunks out of this thing, and you are driving it back and back and back towards the centre of the crater.
That's it.
As you get it to the dead centre, it just stops moving and starts to almost like crouch down, and you hear this whirring noise coming from the construct. Lours, could you just make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
Oh no, 9.
9. So you feel the sort of the hair prickling on the back of your neck, and you turn around just in time to see the portal flare and send this beam directly towards the construct. As it does, those of you in front of it, see it sort of almost like sit down and kind of bring its knees up sort of towards its shoulders. And you see this beam of golden energy from the portal connect with the construct, and the coffin on its chest starts glowing brighter and brighter and brighter until you can barely look at it. And then there's a sudden moment of silence, and as your vision comes back, you see that the portal has vanished, but this coffin is now glowing incandescently bright.
I suggest we cheese it.
Run through the portal.
The portal's gone. It is
Gone,
just this.
gone. Oh, I
this
thought it was like
glowing-
diminishing.
It's just this glowing coffin now in the chest of this construct.
Have it.
Anyone in range of the spirit can get healing, by the way, if you want.
So that would be Faye, Bagerac, you're both in range. Relaxio has kind of pushed away from it.
What kind of healers do I get?
There's 4 more heals. There's 1d6 per go.
I'm going to say there's only really 4 people that are in range of it. So there's Faye, Bagerac, James, and Natasha who could benefit from it.
I'll just let you guys roll yourselves then. So d6 are healing. There's no modifiers,
I
unfortunately.
got a 1.
Sorry.
Sure.
Right. Let's take that.
So, Relaxio, you're still stood in front of this construct, and the glow on the coffin starts to subside.
Oh.
And you see like a seam start to form down the center.
Oh.
And it opens up. And inside the cavity, there is this incredibly tall mechanical human. This thing's got to be easily well over 6 feet tall. Its armor is made of this sort of like gold and bronze, and it's well polished. And in one hand, it's carrying a large metal staff. And as you look at it, its eyes all of a sudden flare to life with this bright purple amethyst light. And it takes a few sort of jerky odd steps forward, and just as it's about to bring its foot out into what looks like open air, a series of steps unfold from the bottom of the coffin, and quite slowly makes its way down the steps and stops in front of you. From the coffin, a small mechanical dragon flutters out and lands on its shoulder. And as it looks down at you, you hear a familiar voice.
Oh God.
Lazio, dear brother.
Hey!
And that's where we're going to end it tonight.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So,
Here for this.
welcome back, Magemak.
Welcome back.
About fucking time.
Just in case you didn't know,
Where's the Magemak called?
Okay.
Oh, of course. Well
I
said,
swear I've
Relaxio.
listened to a minute now, so can Relaxio and I now converse in this bird?
The only
Yeah,
third
certainly.
person here.
have you now learnt the language?
I can mimic it if nothing else.
I was just thinking, oh, the traveler snake's back.
The return of the Mac.
I was waiting for Tom to say about the staff being shaped
yes.
for the snakehead, and I was like, I know where this is going.
Cool. So, yeah, that's where we're going to leave it for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming along and playing. Thank you for those of you who stuck around in chat to the end.
Thank you.
We will be back in 2 weeks' time, so that'll be the 16th of August. I may look at doing a DM coffee morning cocktail evening in between, just to cover over any ground. But there will be a recap at the start of the next session if anything changes between now and then. For now, though, all that's left to say is thank you again for everyone for playing. Thank you everyone for watching. Take care of yourselves, and good night.
Good night,
Bye.
Troll.
Cheerio.
Were you considering the gift shop?
Consider the gift shop!
There we go. Bye.
Thank you.